I lost one family. I ain't gonna lose another one, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Millionth show. My name is James. I'm joined once again by Henry, and we're obviously reviewing and ranking Suicide Squad. So, Henry, what's your history with this film?
Oh man, I actually do have a history with this film, unfortunately. I mean, I had seen this once before, but I was barely paying attention because I was watching it with someone as a joke, basically.
Mhm.
Um, and the fact that I had to watch it again and I had to pay attention this time was
Yeah.
like painful, man. Like I was taking down notes for this, and I actually had to stop myself from like writing so much because there was so much that I had like just hate that pissed me off every time.
Really?
Um, like I don't know. There were like a few things that I liked in this. Like it was basically entirely just Amanda in this film.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, this
I
is the
mean,
this film. I mean, yeah, I've seen it twice as well, and it certainly didn't improve with the second watch. But I had a very similar experience watching it the first time as I did the second time, and that's that. It's just a feeling of wasted potential. You know,
yeah,
there are lots and lots of really bad, terrible things about this film. Lots. But there are a few moments that just really shine through and just make you hate the film even more because you just think, what if they just focused on this or they
yeah.
developed
Or what if
this?
they
You
just
know.
canned this idea and did something else?
So this film wasn't. This is obviously part of the Snyderverse, but it wasn't directed by Zack Snyder. This is directed by a chap called David Ayer,
Yeah,
who the only other film I've seen him direct was an Arnold Schwarzenegger one called
of course.
Sabotage, which was also shit. But you know, the funny thing about this film, right? The funny thing about this film is, like, on paper, in a kind of box office sense, and kind of it did very well. This was a box office smash, okay, and it also won an Oscar somehow, right? The Oscar it won was actually Oscar winner for best achievement in makeup and hairstyling.
Well, to
So
be fair, they spent hours every day doing this. I think
but once again, we fucking got a Batman film that won an Oscar for makeup and hairstyling that wasn't Batman 1989.
I know, but to be
Oh,
fair though, with I think both Jared Leto and Margot Robbie, they both spent 3 hours every time doing having their makeup done, whereas I think for Killer Croc they spent like 5 hours doing all that because
what a
his
waste
wasn't
of
really
time.
achieved by CGI; it was all makeup, really.
Well,
Not to
with Killer
mention,
Croc, you can kind of tell. But
not to
anyway,
mention the amount of like temporary tattoos they had to set up on these lot.
yeah. I don't know. This film is just one of those. Yeah, I mean, I think we could basically jump straight into the storyline, to be honest, because
Yeah. Although one
I
thing I
don't know.
will,
I don't really have. I just remember when this was coming out. I was very excited when this was coming out. I thought, wow, this is the other problem with this film. It was really like the build up was crazy, man. Like I remember when it was coming out, I was at school and it was like some of my friends talking like, oh, the
yeah, it's a
trailer's
new
coming out.
Joker, you know.
Your new Joker. Hey,
Ye-
this is something different. This is like a bunch of Batman villains and stuff, and it sounded like really cool on paper.
Yeah,
And it
man.
turned out to be shit. Everyone, and this is why it did so well in the box office because everyone wanted to watch it. Everyone was like wanting to see what it was about, but everyone left that cinema
Disappointed.
disappointed. Yeah, like.
Yeah, and there's a funny thing as well with this film. Just briefly before we start, the trailers. If you look at them, the first trailer, like you can see the progression of how this clearly changed a bit. Because
Mhm.
by the end of the first one, yeah, the Suicide Squad logo is kind of like it's like somewhat serious looking. But by the end of it, it's like by the last trailer, as they got probably the rights to more and more like famous songs. It just is like you got fucking
Oh,
disco lights and shit, and you can clearly tell by this poster, this is probably one of their final ones, and it's like,
you
I
know,
don't know.
is this film would have been dramatically improved if it just had
A consistent
like
tone.
its own soundtrack, its own composer, rather than just using a fucking playlist of licensed music. It doesn't give you a break.
I know, like at least they could
Like
have
the
used it at
first
like a
half
point
hour is
in time.
literally just like a DJ's live doing a fucking
Yeah,
playlist over this film, over the scenes.
yeah, and
Oh,
they never match.
I've
There's
got
no
a
point.
Harley Quinn. I've got a spell on you. Bang, like, oh fucking Joker. Bang, whatever. Like It's
Oh,
oh man, it's ruthless. There's not like and then you get like a bit of soundtrack kind of towards the end of the film, and that's just shit, you know. It's just like the most
it's not good
generic
anyway.
template, yeah, like superhero, not even superhero movie, just like there's a well, we'll get to it actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Will Smith, man, like
The fact that Will
he
Smith
hasn't
is
had
Deadshot, that's
saying his name now just has a different meaning over the last few years. I mean,
yeah. This
he,
film
he
actually
he hasn't
predicted his marriage breakup.
he hasn't had a great time PR wise the last few years, man, and we're not really going to help him out today either because I think a lot of this film, the bad things about this film are because of Will Smith. Now, it's not necessarily his fault, but it's just the fact that I don't think they ever planned this film. They originally, well, I know this for a fact, they didn't originally plan this film with Will Smith in mind. And then when they hired him, they're like, shit, we need to give this Deadshot more to do. We need to flesh out his character because we've got such a big actor playing him. I think
God.
originally that wasn't the intention. He wasn't written like that.
Do you want to
And
hear the list of people considered for Deadshot?
go on.
I read this from IMDb, but I'm not even sure if like half of this is true. It's like you have Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Daniel Craig, Matthew McConaughey, Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, Keanu Reeves, Oscar Isaac, Jason Statham, Idris Elba, Matt Damon, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ewan McGregor, Robert Pattinson, Michael Fassbender, all being considered for the role of Deadshot.
What the fuck?
I think Idris Elba did end up becoming Deadshot, so
He did, yeah.
I mean,
But Will Smith, I
why
mean,
Will Smith
he's
out
the
of all these
worst choice. Like, you know, I mean, Will Smith, he doesn't, he goes into this film playing the fucking character that Will Smith plays in all of his fucking films, which
Yeah,
is like, oh,
the
the
Fresh
young,
Prince of Assassination.
yeah, he's like, oh, this guy who does a job. He's got like the young child, you know,
Oh, I
like,
love my kid. Yeah,
oh man, Will Smith is someone that I really like. I want to love. And I do, but gives you a hard job, especially in a film like this. And there are lots, and the writing in this film is dire. This is one of the worst written films I've ever watched.
some of the dialogue, man.
Sure, the dialogue, the lines, it's like a parody. You know,
Yeah, it really
the,
felt like
the
there's so many
language,
times I just
the
roll my eyes at
plots,
this. I mean,
the,
how does
the
he?
plot is just that's the worst. The worst thing about this film is probably the music and the writing. Just absolutely
Yeah.
tragic. And
So is he like They start with him on like the rooftops, right? I'm pretty sure.
no, they start with him in prison.
Oh
A
yeah, of
lot of this
course.
is just it's got I don't know. It's got this film has like a slow start but a quick start because you're
They've got so
introduced to
many
a
people to
bunch of
introduce.
people, right? And the very first shot is Will Smith just basically getting battered in prison, right? He's like taunting the guards, so they pull him out where there's no cameras, beating the shit out of him. Um, to his soundtrack. Then you have Margaret Robbie. We see her Harley Quinn in her special cage. Do you know what pissed me off actually? This doesn't even take place in Arkham Asylum, does it? This is and it's not even in Blackgate. It's in some other. It's like Black Heath or something like that. I can't remember. It's got some like strange. It's got a prison name I've never heard of. I don't know if it is a Gotham one, but
Yeah,
it's not.
I assumed it was Arkham, given the fucking
No, it's not
security in this
Arkham at all.
place.
It's not Arkham and it's not Blackgate. It's something else. They specifically have it like as a title, like when the film opens, whatever. Um. So anyway, yeah, we see Will Smith. We see Will Smith, yeah, getting back in prison. Margaret Robbie's Harley Quinn. Um, Now this is something. I mean, just to dwell on Margaret Robbie's Harley Quinn for a moment.
How do you
I don't
feel
know.
about it?
Like she's like. I want to say she. I mean, this is the first time Harley Quinn's been on screen. On screen. In fact, a lot of these villains.
Yeah, the
Characters.
first time seeing Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, man, and Colonel Rick fucking Flag. But Harley Quinn is such like a big Batman villain, and has been done so perfectly in the animated series, for example, and that voice actress who did Harley Quinn in the Arkham games as well, etc. This Margaret Robbie's Harley Quinn is very different to that, but I think it's still quite a good Harley Quinn. It's different, but she's like, but
Just
I don't know.
visually wise, I guess.
The problem is the writing, and this
Yeah,
is
oh,
something
yeah, her lines, man, she was
her
pissing.
lines are really bad, and I don't think that's Margot Robbie's fault.
And
Well, it's obviously not her fault. Um, she has some diabolical lines, but
Yes, you're saying like, oh, sorry, the voices. I'm off my meds. You know, like,
yeah, yeah. No, there's so many. There's so many.
uh,
And it's
like,
a shame because with the better script, this would have been so much better. And maybe I mean we will review the Suicide Squad, and I'd like to think. I mean, I'm watching that just out of pure hope that it's just this film but better written. I don't know,
yeah, I hope.
but
I mean, apparently it is very good, so I guess we'll find out.
yeah, we'll find out because I've never seen it.
But unfortunately, we have to
But
suffer.
anyway, well, I mean, Margaret Roy, I don't know.
I know
What
you
are
do
your
get to.
thoughts on her
Yeah,
her
no, there is
Harley?
a very brief time where you do get to see her in like a traditional Harley outfit, but unfortunately, like for like there's like a very brief flashback, or it might not even be a flashback.
Ah,
It's
you're
just when
right. You're
Joker
right.
does.
Yeah, I was just trying to think when that was, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
could never place that scene in your head. Um,
Yeah, but half the film is just like close-ups of a fucking in a thong, mate. It's pretty embarrassing. you know,
yeah, feels bad, but
I don't think Margot Robbie cares that much, man. I mean, you've seen Wolf of Wall Street, etc., but
yeah,
still.
true, but still.
Um. Anyway, then we get to our third kind of introduction, who is by far and away the strongest, best part of this film. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller.
Oh yeah, exactly. She was
She's
like the only thing keeping me going in this.
she's incredible in this film, and she like she's a phenomenal actress as well. She's in Prisoners. She's very versatile. She's in Prisoners. She's in a couple other films that I've seen as well. She's in Law Abiding Citizen as well. But in this film, she's like really like a diamond in the dirt. She's like, and even she has some lines which like, if it wasn't for her exceptional delivery, would just be completely terrible. Like
Yeah,
like the others. Basically, you would they're like they cringe. You cringe when you hear them. But the fact she's able to deliver her lines so convincingly and with such conviction, you really like you're like wow, and it's quite impressive. There's a bit later on where she's in the boardroom in the Pentagon, right, and she's like bringing out Enchantress and shit, and she's doing and saying ridiculous things, but because it's Viola Davis, she just delivers it with so much authority that you're like you have no choice but
yeah,
to kind of
you
wow,
have to stand it to attention and
yeah,
listen. You know?
it's a rare example of like acting just surpassing even bad writing. That's just a testament to how good of an
Yeah,
actress she
exactly.
is.
I mean,
Uh,
there's a couple funny things about her because
yeah,
one thing you'd be surprised at they were one of the original casting choices was going to be Oprah Winfrey for her. I mean that would have complemented the rest of the cast, I feel, but
she would have
she
fit
also
in better in this film, I
yeah
think.
yeah yeah Viola Davis read Emmy Thomas's autobiography Confessions of a Sociopath in order to prepare for this role,
Really?
which is like some dedication that I find probably helped quite a bit with this because like yeah man she's ruthless man in this.
Oh, she plays a total bitch, like, and it's so it's really like the most fascinating character in this film. Um, and yeah, she just anyway, she's in this scene. She's talking about how Superman's died. It's like, oh, our world changed when Superman was flying, and then it changed again when he stopped. So this is basically happening shortly after the events of Batman vs Superman, which we reviewed last week. Um, and anyway, she's in this film. She's pitching some suits basically about her idea of a squad, a team of criminals with certain powers, and then she goes through and literally does like a fucking Ocean's 11 style, meet the gang kind of fucking, and oh man, it's so bad, it's so bad. So we start off with Deadshot again. So we
Yeah,
get
we've
we
got
get okay,
loads
yeah.
of
So this is where we get Deadshot. He's on like the rooftop. Oh man, this is so bad. He's on the rooftop and he's like, he's on a job and he's like going to assassinate this guy, but he hasn't been paid, so he's pulling out his phone. He's on the phone call. He's like, "You got 10 seconds left," and then it's like $1 million appears on his phone.
yeah you got the fastest transfer in the world
The
there.
fastest transfer of all, like ridiculously fast. There's like inexplicable. It's too fast. It's too fast. And then he goes, yeah, now double it for being a dickhead, and then again, like, and then
To
he
be
didn't.
fair,
And
like
then
that bit was kind of funny. Like
no, it was so bad, man. Like, I mean, yeah, it was
if it
funny.
was someone, to be fair, if it was someone else delivering that, it probably
No,
would.
no, no. I mean, that's like no, that's like quintessentially a Will Smith moment, like now double it for being a dickhead, and you're like, okay, but it just doesn't work for me. Anyway, at least it's followed by like a cool, assassination style where he like shoots the bullet off, it ricochets and hits the guy in the back head. That was very cool, and that's the Deadshot we want to see. And this is the thing as well, Deadshot wears a mask, but because they have such like an A-list actor there,
He never wears it,
they have
basically.
to show his face as much as possible. So there's no room for the mask. He wears it like for 10 seconds,
Yeah, total screen time. Yeah,
which is a shame. Anyway, so then we get to see a bit of his personal life with his daughter and his estranged wife or ex-wife. So we get a little bit of like every Will Smith film ever. But we get fucking Ben Affleck Batman shows up, man. This is like always a pleasure. Just like really like breaks up the awful beginning of this film. Batman showing up. He's in the beginning twice. This is the first time, so we get him, basically taking down Deadshot. They have a little hand-to-hand combat, and then the daughter steps in the way in front of Batman, so Deadshot can't kill him, or shoot him actually.
yeah,
And I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit embarrassing for Batman, to be honest. But obviously, it serves as a purpose to kind of give us a bit more dimension to this Deadshot character, which doesn't really work, but still,
yeah. It's like yeah. My daughter knows I kill people, but I can't do it in front of her.
yeah.
Essentially,
Daddy, I know you do bad things, but I still love you. I mean, that's nice. It's obviously cute and everything, but it's I don't know. It doesn't fit us all, man. It's just like, what am I watching, man? But it was just cool to see Ben Affleck there. Like, oh, I don't want to do this in front of your daughter. Like we don't want to fuck you up, basically, like I did to those guys in the warehouse. um,
yeah, exactly. He's like just blows him up like right after his daughter leaves.
yep. Um, so I don't know. That was it was just cool to see Ben Affleck's Batman there, of course. Um, and
Yeah,
then we get Harleen Quinzel's origin story. Harley Quinn, obviously. So what I like about this is it is very comic accurate and
yeah,
it's just quickly done. They don't, they do what they need to do to satisfy the audience for once in this film, which
oh,
is, we see her in Arkham Asylum, getting to know the Joker. We get our first look at Jared Leto's Joker, which we'll go into in a minute.
yeah.
Um, but she's there, and they have this dialogue, and then they take over Arkham, which is cool. This is the only bit of Arkham we get to see in this film for some reason. But we see them escaping from Arkham thanks to Harley Quinn.
Yeah, although I was confused as fuck because, like, okay, so all right, I assume she's been like brainwashed by the Joker by this point. He's like, oh yeah, I need a machine gun. First of all,
Yeah,
how's she gonna get that in there? And it's not just one. There's like got several people there, like fully
yeah,
armed.
that's
Man.
true.
Like this is like fucking the Arkham from like the Joel Schumacher universe, man. Like all right, we're just gonna smuggle shit in. All right, like this many.
Well, yeah, but if I'm being generous, obviously this happens over the period of the course of a long period of time,
Yeah, that's true.
right? So she's probably I don't know like how long that smuggling took place. I doubt she did it like in bulk,
Yeah,
but
5 minutes. Yeah,
but
to
yeah,
do it part by
yeah,
part.
obviously, yeah. I mean, if you look into it that much, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, we obviously get to see Jared Leto like electrocute her, and
Oh, that editing,
I
man.
don't does he? I don't think it's a direct shining quote, but I definitely got vibes of it where he's going,
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you real, real bad.
Yeah, I thought I heard that from somewhere, but it's like he doesn't say he's gonna bash her brains in, but
Yeah, that's right. It's not a shining quote, but it gave me those vibes. Obviously Jack Nicholson, previous
yeah,
Joker. So
maybe it's an homage to Jack Nicholson's Joker.
yeah, I think
Who
it
knows?
probably was a nod to that.
Yeah, but also like I don't know what it was. It's like especially the editing of that particular scene, like just like was pissing me off, man. Like they have like some of the editing in this film is like questionable. They have like extremely fast like cuts and they like fuck up some of the audio as well. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't like
yeah.
it.
I mean, we get whole introduction to Jared Leto's Joker where he's then he's in like a GTA-esque sort of nightclub where
Yeah,
Harley Quinn's a stripper, whatever,
yeah, he's
and
being a bit of a
Joker's and it's
cunt.
like, yeah, you don't disrespect the Joker, man, you know. So and then to illustrate this, some guy like he says something like, "Oh, nice
Yeah, he's
piece of
making it. He's just finished completed a deal with this dude, right?
yeah."
He's
And
like,
he
oh, yeah,
goes, and the guy goes, he just is like, "Oh yeah, you're a lucky guy, whatever," something like that. Like, quite a respectful compliment, I think.
yeah,
But he's like, "Oh, you like her then? Oh, you want to fuck her, don't you?" You know, he's like the most paranoid fucking whatever. And so he brings Harley over and then fucking shoots him in the face.
yeah. That makes no sense because he's like he rejects to be like, oh no, no, she's your girl, Joker, which is like fair enough, right?
Yeah,
And also he's just presumably made a deal with this guy, so he just
yeah,
shoots the guy anyway. It's like
yeah. But I mean, it's the Joker being insane, right? It's Joker doing Joker
yeah,
thing,
true. Yeah, to be fair,
right?
if the previous ones had done this, we'd let him go with it. So fair enough.
Yeah. Now you're thinking Heath Ledger Joker rather than actual Joker.
Nah, yeah, yeah, true.
Anyway, then we get to the next bit with Joker and Harley Quinn, which is a car chase with a Batmobile. Super fucking cool, man. I
Yeah.
wish they'd spent a little bit
Yeah,
longer on.
apparently it was meant to be longer, but they just decided
Ah,
not to do it.
it should have been, man. That would have been
No,
great.
you'd have more interaction with Harley and Joker. But yeah, because it seems really sudden that Batman's just on top of his car all of a sudden.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Actually, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have
I mean,
been a lot
what do you
better.
think of yeah, what do you think of the Joker mobile though, It's
Pretty
quite
cool,
high
man.
license plate. I liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like this, yeah,
It's
it's
very much
wrapped
suits
in
his
like yeah,
Joker.
like this sort of pink shiny decor is like yeah, it's definitely like very cool, you know.
I wish you got to see more of it, like I wish you got to see more of that chase.
We could have ranked the Joker vehicles, you know, like you've got the truck from the Dark Knight, you've got
Yeah, you've
the
got those purple cars from 89,
yeah Batman 1989, and you've got the actual well actually he's got a whole
the
bunch
Joker
of
copter.
yeah he's got a whole bunch of vehicles like anyway I think that would be a clear winner there anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we will be ranking the Jokers at the end of this episode. So stay tuned for that. We don't have much to rank in this episode, by the way. I think we're literally just going to rank Joker, Sigma Moment, and the film. But anyway, we'll get to that at the end. Anyway, part of this scene, yeah, Batman jumps on his car. He makes them crash off the pier. Um, Joker escapes. I think he's like his body's not there, but Harley Quinn is, and she's like, I don't know how this works. She's pretending to be dead or like out, and then she like wakes up and tries to stab Batman, and then he like
Yeah.
headbutts her or like punches her in the face, and then drags her up, and she fakes her death for like not fakes her death, but like plays. I don't know how you can do that underwater when you're literally drowning, but she does it twice. So she's like playing dead, and then like tries to stab him, and then she plays dead again. And I don't know if Batman's on some like necrophilia shit, or if he's like that's a genuine kiss of life, or like
I
trying
thought
to
it
do
was meant to be
CPR.
like mouth to mouth CPR or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know. It gave me vibes
Weird
of
though.
like now's my chance.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Like anyway,
If anyone,
because
it'd be
she
Ben
kisses
Affleck.
back as well. Like I don't know. It's like a really strange like moment. But whatever. So yeah, I mean, it was probably one of the highlights of this film, albeit not a particularly great one, but still, it's the only time we really see Batman and Joker in some sort of combat situation. Well, this Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you make of it in general?
I mean, I wish you got to see like a little bit more interaction between him and Batman, or like, again, like we said, like this scene of the car chase and so on, or like what led up to it maybe. But it feels like they've got to introduce so many people in this like so fast that there's it feels like this film is too packed with like characters, and like everyone
Oh,
kind of suffers for it, like
oh
who
yeah.
was asking for Captain Boomerang? Like he's a fucking Flash villain anyway. Like
Is he?
I thought they just made him up, but no, he's a Flash villain.
No, well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, now we're going to get into the list of fucking people that we meet along
Yeah, the
at the
people that
beginning
you
of this
don't
film.
want to see.
We're really going to get into it now because all we've spoken about is Deadshot. Oh, but already, okay, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Joker, Amanda Waller, and Batman. I mean, we knew Batman, but still, like, okay, let's not count Batman because he's not a new character. But and this is the thing, man. This is just humiliating for Ben Affleck. No wonder he wants nothing to do with this fucking DC ever again, man. He's like washed his hands of the thing. I feel
Yeah.
so fucking embarrassed for him because he already spoke about how he had a bad time on the Batman vs Superman set where he's like, just doing like basically like a Marvel film, man, just wearing a green suit and being thrown around for fucking CGI. And then he's in this film where he's not credited. He's given about two lines, which are fucking amazing lines. Like, and it's just such a shame because they've got such a great actor and such a great Batman here, and they just misuse him constantly. Like, that's the real frustration as like
Yeah,
a
it's a Warner Bros.
Batman
Trying to lose
fan.
money challenge.
Yeah, it's just like as a Batman fan, it's just like it's so fucking frustrating. But anyway, now we can get into it in terms of who else we get to meet in this film. We
Yeah.
get
All the
way too many characters. I think this is a criticism I had of the Dark Knight Rises, where there's too many new people in it. This like takes the piss though. So
yeah,
now
this
we
is
have
really
Captain Boomerang, and yeah, actually, I just want before we get into all of them, I had the same thing as you when I first watched this film. I was wondering, are any of these like made up, and actually they're all legit Batman
yeah,
villains.
it's like, are there any better people they could have used other than Captain
Oh,
Boomerang?
I know. Or at least trim it down, man. We don't need all this shit. No one turned up to see El Diablo, or fucking whatever, Enchantress or Katana, man. Anyway, we'll get into them.
Yeah,
But
oh, man, I just can't.
yeah, we'll get onto it. Anyway, so we have first of all we meet Captain Boomerang. So we get to see a bit of him, Australian fucking
Robbed
bank
every
robber.
bank in Australia,
Yeah, he's got a fucking an actual boomerang as his thing. Okay, yeah, I suppose if
which
you're in
he
a
uses
universe
like
with
twice in
Batman,
the film.
then we can allow this guy boomerang. But yeah, we get a little cameo from the Flash, so that was cool. Um, I mean, well, yeah. Actually, I don't really want to talk about Captain Boomerang again, so let's just get him
Yeah,
done
well,
with.
he doesn't do anything in this film anyway,
He's got
so
this fucking yeah, except for his like comedy relief moments when he's got this fucking pink unicorn
oh
covered.
yeah, it's funny. His
What's
yeah,
that?
they include fetishes, pink unicorns. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
oh wow, what a bag of laughs that is. It's like the worst. That's like not even Marvel would do that. Actually, maybe they would. Just so shit, man. Then you've got LD. Then we meet El Diablo, um, who's just I don't know. They're like talking about him. I really don't get this.
oh man, they one thing I also noticed with this film, they have an obsession with using like in the writing, they have an obsession with using like sort of like hood jargon,
Yeah.
like yeah, homie, so on and so forth.
Well,
Like,
because El Diablo is meant to be like Latino, like some like Mexican kind of style guy, but yeah,
I
that's
know, it's fair enough, but also like sometimes it just feels like it feels like
it's
a
so
white
forced.
guy's
Yeah.
writing this, and they don't
Yeah,
understand.
that's true. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Actually, they're just like okay, stereotype Mexican, whatever,
Exactly,
Latino.
it's like, come on, man.
It's embarrassing, and particularly embarrassing is when I think they go up to his like cell, whatever, which is like some water tank, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not about that life anymore," and then he writes "bye" with fire, man.
Yeah,
So fucking
so
cringe, man.
good.
Then we get to meet Killer Croc, who is like far more of a prominent Batman villain. Now, there's a very good reason why Killer Croc has never been in an actual live action film until now. And this is like, what did you think of this Killer Croc?
Well, if, I don't know what to say because like he's just like a guy with like scales basically at this point. Like there's no, it's really difficult for them obviously to adapt Killer Croc into an
Yeah,
actual sort of live action because
yeah,
yeah he only belongs in animated films really. But he has like no lines in this entire film, and again,
yeah,
this suffers from the white writer using like like this sort of jargon. Man, he has like
yeah,
two
yeah,
lines in
yeah.
the whole film, and it's just saying, "Yeah, bro, yeah, homie," so on and so forth.
And his lines are fucking inaudible as well. I don't know about you,
Yeah,
but the lines that he did do, I genuinely didn't understand what he was saying. Upon
yeah,
second time viewing, I'm just like, but am I really going to rewind and get the subtitles on just so I can understand his crappy dialogue? No.
yeah.
So,
The thing is, it's like this entire film, he doesn't actually do anything like no offense to him, but there's nothing. They don't actually do anything kind of useful with him.
no, not at
At
all.
all, really. And it's like, why did they include him in this at
Yeah,
all?
yeah, exactly. It's like if you're going to bring Killer Croc into it, you've got to have a fucking reason for it because otherwise, this is a character that you kind of avoid putting in a film for the reasons you mentioned. Because it's like just generally speaking, it is maybe the most far fetched Batman villain, or like really right up there in terms of like this guy who's like can breathe underwater, and that is like quite a ridiculous kind of villain to have. I mean, it's cool, yeah, in the animated series and the Arkham games, it works, because that's that's a universe and a style of animation where you can get away with having these unrealistic characters, but if you're going to do them in live action, you surely are going to have like a purpose for him, and they just don't. They shoehorn a little bit of something for him to do later on, where he just swims in the gutter and carries a bomb underwater with Rick Flag's team anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah,
They just
exactly.
didn't.
They don't encounter any danger under there,
He
and
has no
also,
good lines. He looks terrible. He doesn't look like he's not big or anything. He's like he's like he's stocky, but he's not like tall or anything. It's just not like they baned him up or anything. He's just like a guy in like
yeah, in a hoodie. Yeah,
an expensive Halloween costume, basically.
yeah, and also like I kind of feel bad for the actor. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I can't pronounce. I don't want to like butcher his name, but
Mm.
he researched like several things. Like he researched like for this role as something.
He researched what? Sorry,
And the behavior. He wrote
your audio is going a bit.
because well, he's
Hang on,
cannibal.
your audio
So
went. Say that again. What did he research?
he researched cannibalism
Oh yeah.
and also the behavior of crocodiles. Got my ping coming in right now. But he it feels like his like all this preparation he did was wasted because they
Yeah.
couldn't think of anything to do with him because this film kind of it's like they cast a bunch of people and then they were trying to figure out what to do afterwards because I think they had only 6 weeks to write this and it really shows, man.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know, man.
just do some like pre-preparation or something.
Or
Like
just cut out a bunch of these characters. If you've got nothing to do with them, then why do you have them? Just get rid of them, axe them. Like I'm sorry, but like otherwise, you're just making a shit film, which is what this is. Killer Croc is just, yeah, just like waste of a villain because now what leaps to mind is actually it reminds me of Bane in Batman and Robin. You know,
oh yeah. Yeah, they just introduce him
He's
five
just there
seconds. He's
and
just
like, oh
doing
yeah,
everything.
but there's Killer Croc. Yeah, is he going to do anything? No. Why do you have him
Yeah,
here?
no, but you
Don't
get to
know. He's
see
just
his.
there.
You didn't even get to see his origin story. He's just a guy in a sewer.
Well, Killer Croc doesn't really have his origin story is like he's born with some kind of I don't
Skin
know,
disorder. Who knows?
and he was like a wrestler and then a turned to crime. I don't know. It's like
Then turns
again, like
evil.
we said, Killer Croc's a very hard character to do. And it's a shame I didn't know that the actor like took the time to do that kind of research and preparation for the role. And I wish that they had put more effort into developing Killer Croc because he's a very interesting Batman villain if you can do him right. And they just didn't even bother doing anything with him, let alone doing anything right. Which is a shame.
Yeah,
Just would
I
have been
mean,
better off not having him at all.
yeah, like
Unfortunately.
who else do they like introduce after this? Because
Okay, so
it's
next we
like
have
rolling with punches, man. Like then you
next
get
one. Next one. Okay, next one we got is Enchantress.
oh my fucking days. I just keep forgetting these people are even in the film.
Yeah. I know, man. So we've got Enchantress, right? And this is maybe the fucking dumbest of the lot, man, because you've got like okay, the origin story is cool because it's like she's like in the jungle and she discovers this like tomb of witchcraft and shit, and she like breaks a statue and becomes possessed, right?
Yep.
Okay, but then you've got like we've got her heart in this suitcase, and I'm gonna stab it with a pen whenever she does disobeys me. It's like
Yeah, it is a great thing for Amanda to do though. Like just gives her like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking she's like a bit of a psycho man, just like stabs the shit out of
yeah,
it.
for sure, man. Um, only Viola Davis can pull that off, man. Because anyone else, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? You've got a heart in a suitcase, which you can like.
Yeah.
It's like fucking voodoo doll from Indiana Jones. Literally the same thing, man. It's like, well, actually, yeah, that makes sense with the whole witchcraft thing. It is kind of a bit of voodoo there, but the actual heart itself, I mean, fucking hell. Um, and you have she's quite a decent actress. Her name escapes me, but the actress who's playing Enchantress is actually like quite decent, but again, it's just like an
The
embarrassing.
writing fails him.
Yeah, of course.
It's got to
Uh,
share it's got to share a stage with like 50 other people.
yeah. The next one we get to meet, maybe the worst actually in this whole film, is Colonel Rick Flag. Um,
Hmm.
oh man, he's just the most unnecessary, boring, terrible fucking character in this film, man. Played by the same guy who plays RoboCop. I recognized
I,
him from something. He's like, oh, okay, he's RoboCop.
do you want to
Uh,
know who they almost cast? Well, who they originally casted for Rick Flag, but said
Tom
no
Hardy.
with? Yeah, Tom Hardy, man, but he dropped out to do The Revenant, which fucking
Oh, thank God.
That's
Thank God,
a better
man.
choice. But he said
He regrets, yeah.
later expressed some regret, and I'm like, why? This is a shit film.
Right, I believe like he's got the confidence to that he would have made this film better. I'm sure he would have.
Yeah,
This guy who
maybe
plays
he's
Rick Flag, he's just like, just like he's not even at least with like the likes of Killer Croc, Enchantress, and all the other, they have something visually interesting about them.
this
This
guy's
guy's just
just
like
sloppy.
a soldier in this like in this gang, like, and his job is to like, just threaten all these people to kill them all the time.
Yeah, like for some reason, I don't know if it's the fault of the actor, but the writing, but this guy, it's not really believable that he could like hold these people in line, you know. He's not like, I mean, obviously Amanda's meant to be the one, behind it all, but this guy is basically her stand-in for like the action and shit.
Hmm.
Doesn't like, he doesn't like, he's really not good at
He's
like
got no
whipping them into
presence.
shape.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got no authority compared to
yeah.
like, if Amanda could have just been there with a pistol and she'd have done a better job.
Yeah, you're right. And this guy's supposed to be a colonel, you know. That's like pretty big balls, right? Like, you must have achieved something to achieve that rank. And there's nothing leader like about him. He's like a fucking wimp, like, I don't know. Just the least inspiring. I don't know. Yeah, and I think the writing, I don't think the I mean, yeah, Tom Hardy would have definitely changed that. I don't think this actor is like a particularly amazing actor, but so, I mean, it's Suicide Squad, man. It's just this shit film. I've just noticed the caption for it here. Look, worst heroes ever. Great.
Yeah, well,
Um,
and also, there's a point. The plot, like Amanda basically explains, revolves around, you know, the first we got lucky with the first Superman, kind of. What if the next one's a terrorist or something? I'm like, none of these people could stop him anyway.
yeah,
Like, what's the
exactly.
point?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's just fucking
Like,
stupid,
what's
man.
Deadshot gonna do? Shoot him a few times in the head?
Yeah, you've
Like,
got
what's Captain Boomerang gonna do? Fucking
the only one I kind of
yeah,
these who I do believe would be able to have some kind of
to Diablo.
is Enchantress. Actually, she's
Oh yeah,
obviously the most powerful of all these villains. But you know,
I don't know.
anyway, oh yeah, the other terrible thing about Colonel Rick Flag is the fact that he's in love with Enchantress, right?
Oh yeah, that's
It's
the
like,
only way
Amanda
to.
Waller's like, yeah, we set them up to fall in love, and that's exactly what they did. And
Yeah, because Enchantress kind of has like dual identity almost because it's
of
someone who's
course, yeah, there's like,
possessed.
although
They
they
kind of
don't
say,
bother explaining the human aspect of her at all, so it's kind of like she's just there so that Colonel Rick Flag has someone to like be in love with, but it's just the least believable, like one-dimensional fucking. Um.
oh, I don't know, man. Like you're trying to like you can't
Anyway,
explore half of these people, man.
so we've met the majority of these, but it's not done yet. But
Yeah,
anyway,
until
we
they
have a little
piss these
break
random
into we
people.
have a little break here. So it's like we think we've met everyone, but we actually haven't, which just makes it even worse when we do meet the rest. But anyway, then we get to the Pentagon, right? So she's gone and she's pitched all these guys to these suits. Like, okay, we buy it. We're going to take it to the Pentagon now. And she pulls out Enchantress out of a suitcase to demonstrate to these guys, yeah. And one of the guys, oh, don't touch me, don't touch me. It's like, oh, so shit, so
Yeah.
bad, man. Um,
Oh
but
yeah,
again,
she.
it's just Amanda Wallace, just how sorry Waller having like great presence and great conviction in her role in this film and like in this suit in the Pentagon. You really do believe that she's like in front of these people and she's able to convince them that this is the it's just like it's so well done. She really does command the room that she's in, and this is the
Yeah.
fucking Pentagon, like this
Yeah,
is.
and she gets like I think she gets Enchantress to be like because a lot of them are like like naysayers, and then she's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
can you retrieve this thing? And then brings back like some like secret nuclear documents from
Mm,
Iran in like 2 seconds, and they're like, damn, we've been chasing
yeah,
this for
yeah, yeah,
years, you know.
that's true. Anyway, so Amanda then, so they get they get the thumbs up basically. She gets thumbs up from the government, whatever. So she goes to meet the crew, like in this
Oh
prison.
yeah,
Part of this is Will Smith at the gun range, much like I was
and
on
I
Tuesday.
yeah,
And
I can't remember exactly at what point this comes in her like meeting all the people, but there's a really funny line I found with I think when she meets Harley, like Harley's like, "Are you the devil?" And then
Oh yeah,
she's Amanda's like standing above her, like she's like, "Maybe," you know,
yeah.
like I don't know
I mean, that is like super cringe from Margaret Robbie, but that, again, Amanda Waller, she just saves the scene. He's like,
exactly.
you know what, and there's just this is the only I don't know, it's like the only thing they kind of put effort into with this film was that because the timing of it, there's like a little pause where you think like, is she gonna say yes? What's she gonna say? Like, well, she kind of clearly is, but and then she's like, maybe. You're like, oh, it's so good, man. You're right. It's fantastic. She meets Will Smith as well, who at a gun range. She's like showing off his abilities.
Yeah,
Um,
they did, one thing I noticed with this when he's shooting, half the time they like blur the because he did. I think Will Smith did actually train like with rifles and guns first, but they're like blurring like his the like his shooting because I'm not entirely sure if it actually looks like he's aiming in the right spots to actually hit it directly.
yeah,
Because obviously no one would actually hit it like directly in the middle of the head every time. But
yeah.
um,
This
yeah,
is this is like the least shit use of licensed to music in this film as well because he's doing it to Kanye West Black Skinhead, you know, which is like fucking awesome, man. So he's like shooting all this shit, and then he makes a list of demands, and it's like, yeah, and I want my daughter to go to college, and if she has bad grades, you can white people it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like what does
Actually,
that
I'm not
even
talking to
mean?
you. I'm talking to her, you know, and like it's like okay,
Yeah,
um,
well everyone knows she's the boss, so.
yeah, but still, it's just like it's so bad, man.
Yeah, but to be yeah,
Um,
they already like are like shitting on Rick Flag first thing, you know. It's like
yeah,
you might
Rick
as well.
Flair, like, yeah, he's just. You know who would have been even better than Rick Flag? That random guard that like Will Smith has like back and forth with. You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly. He's got more character, you
yeah,
know.
he's like way more interesting, man. Give me a bit more. If you're gonna have some fucking soldier type there, get that guy in, man. He's like far more interesting, and we never see him again after this, pretty much. But
They might do it at the very end. I don't know.
I
Can't
yeah,
remember.
maybe
He's like talking to him at the end or something. Like
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
I don't know. Who cares?
Anyway, so now we get to the Joker. This is like quite an infamous scene where it's like, oh yeah, we basically okay, Harley got arrested, so we're gonna go find her, we're gonna go break her out, whatever, and he Jared Leto lays back into his
Yeah, he's drawn like a
circle of
moustache
knives,
or something on
man.
his face, isn't he?
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure he's drawn like a moustache on his face in this scene as well, or something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that. And then he just, yeah, he lays back in this circle of knives, like, oh, psst, guys, I'm actually insane. So I
I
don't
don't
know,
know. I
man.
mean, yeah, for the visual effect, it looks pretty good, especially that they're so like neatly aligned and so on.
Yeah, but it's just yeah, but I mean, this isn't even like oh yes, like it's like Zack Snyder like doing something for the trailer, man. Like where it does look cool. No, it looks fucking stupid, man.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It
you
doesn't make sense.
can't pull out the Zack Snyder one in this film. Although he was, I think he was involved in this. He was like a
He
producer or
was the
something.
producer, yeah, of course, but
Maybe that was definitely probably one of his ideas he had.
I don't think so, man. This is just, and it's so like un-Joker as well. This is the funny thing because that's like they whoever's idea that was really trying hard to like make it like a Joker thing, but that's actually the least Joker thing possible. Why would Joker, like carefully arrange knives like in like concentric circles of three fucking layers or four, whatever it is, and then lay in the middle of it. It's just fucking stupid, man. Doesn't make any sense you
Yeah,
know.
true.
And if you contrast that to a scene like in Batman '89, where Joker's there and he's got all of his paper cuttings, right, and he's like, and he's like throwing that everywhere, and like quite kind of a similar shot, and maybe that's like a little bit of homage to Jack Nicholson's Joker, but
Yeah, I mean,
um,
yeah,
just
you can.
terrible though.
Yeah, and like the one with Heath Ledger's knives, they're just laying. They lay out like I don't know 6 or 7 of them in a line, and is like his finishing with his like like potato peeler knife.
But that's not Joker doing it. That's like
I
some.
know, I know. Like that's the closest you get to something like this.
Yeah,
But
I
this is
guess, I
way too
guess,
many
yeah.
knives.
And it does harken back to yeah. You want to know why he's a knife, etc., etc.
You want to know why he's a spatula, a butcher's knife,
Yeah.
all these kind
You
of
want to know
knives.
why he's a pencil?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah, most of the time they never use like he probably couldn't have gotten through all these knives in his lifetime, man.
No, definitely not. Yeah. So what's he got? He's got a knife collection now. Like I don't know. Oh, so edgy. Um. do we want to dwell a little bit on Jared Leto's Joker because we've spoken about him, but we haven't really like addressed, like so Jared Leto as an actor, obviously,
He's everywhere, man.
he's everywhere. He's like obviously a very talented actor in his versatility. Although I mean, obviously, he's usually playing like disturbed characters.
Oh
Um,
yeah, this is just right for him. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
well, of course, like so yeah. I mean, not really surprised he's someone that ended up playing the Joker, and obviously, everyone knows we're gonna play. You've got a little game arranged for us later, right? For
yeah, might do that at the
but
very end, just for fun.
before we get there, it's kind of like Jared Leto is obviously someone who takes his roles very seriously as an actor. He's a method actor, and he does lots of interesting and out of the box preparation for his roles. I was
Yeah,
re- you
of
know
which people
I'm
have
like
probably heard of.
yeah, I'm well into my Blade Runner, as you know, and he's obviously in Blade Runner 2049, and the character he plays, and the preparation he went into doing that performance. He's a very meticulous actor, and he's an actor that's actually been around for a lot longer than people realize. He was lead actor in Requiem for a Dream, and that was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
he's
he
done every role imaginable basically between now and then, and obviously he's the Joker in this. He's a polarizing actor in general, let alone his performance of the Joker. Um, and I wrestle with myself even if I like his Joker or not. There are some things about it I think are very very good,
I mean, the
but then
visual
others,
style I actually quite like of him personally, because this is obviously a very different one. I don't know about you, minus the damage tattoo, it's
yeah, I think
just about
minus
right,
the
I think.
tattoos, yeah,
But
I
I don't
think
think even the rest of the tattoos, like the ha 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 one, is like especially like like the photo of him. It must have been a promotional photo, like where he's got his like
yeah
his
yeah
hands
yeah.
on top of his head, like
Yeah.
like laughing,
I'll
like it's a
probably
bit
use
like
that for
that.
the thumbnail of this video actually.
Yeah, it's like yeah, that's from like the Killing Joke. I'm pretty sure, like very like reminiscent, like of a particular panel. Um, but I mean, and
I
also
mean, visually, yeah, I love his hair. I love, obviously he's like got the bleached skin, etc. Um,
like his outfits, I will say.
yeah, yeah, his outfits are very dapper.
Yeah, yeah, and
I think
also like
just
yeah,
if you
his
just
like
take
tails
away
are
if
pointing
you
the way.
take away the tattoos and the grilled teeth, I think you've
No,
got
no, those aren't
a
like
very good
grilled
Joker.
teeth. Those are like repaired teeth because he's been like punched in the face by Batman so many times.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, like because like realistically speaking, like they would have like destroyed his teeth, like the amount of times he's been punched by him and like
Well, of course,
thrown
yeah, but
around
then
by
that would
Ben
go to
Affleck.
versus. I wasn't aware of that. That's repaired teeth, is it? You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is because like they're not like consistently. It's not like a grill like
Oh,
they're
okay.
just like
I
fucked up.
assumed it was a grill because he's like playing this fucking GTA's villain, like gangster, or whatever. But okay, well that's cool then if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, like it would be funny if they did this with like like all the characters throughout time. They just get progressively more crippled, including
Um,
Batman himself. Like, like if you go out for a fight every night, you're not coming back like in good shape, are you?
Hollywood teeth, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I mean, should we do this? Like, should we do this thing
Yeah,
now? So
I want to say that to the very end because I'd quite like to for those who don't know, obviously, I've collected here 7 different facts about Heath Ledger's and Jared Leto's Joker, and James is going to have to guess which is which. But I want to say that to the very end because
okay, okay,
we
all right,
all want to
let's.
get through this, and then that can be carrot the
Okay,
carrot
yeah,
the stick. And the one thing also, I want to continue a little bit on about Jared Leto's Joker because
yeah.
apparently they filmed a lot more scenes with him. They've got like what they had a lot more footage of him, and he was when they originally cast him. I mean, when he was first, obviously cast for this film, he kind of had a. They must have sold him on like that his joke would be like a big part of the film, like most people assumed. But he's like got like 8 minutes of screen time or something. But if you look at interviews with him before the film actually got released, like he's talking about it like he's like a big part because there's so much that they shot with him.
Oh, really?
But by the end of it, like you see interviews with him afterwards, he just wants to like kill himself, like
Oh
and
man.
he's like, oh yeah, I hope he reappears in like another one. If not, I'm just gonna go in a cave and die, or something.
Was that an
Uh,
actual quote?
it's very close. I'm just gonna go off and live in a cave somewhere, you know.
Yeah, I
But
feel bad for
I
Jared
kind
Leto,
of feel
man. Can you
bad
imagine
for him
how
almost
he
'cause
must have been, because everyone's like, everyone criticizes. I'm sure no one was more disappointed than he was himself, like, having watched this film.
yeah, because like as well, like later on in a nightmare scene in like Justice League,
Yeah, yeah.
he like it's probably the writing that mainly failed him. I mean he does questionable method acting, but we can maybe let that slide or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like there was just there's just all this stuff that's missing with him, and I feel like it could have been pretty good. Like especially interactions with Batman, or that extended car chase scene, or there's like
Yes.
I've seen like some footage of him in like Tales on a boat or something, but it's not in the film, so I don't
Oh,
know.
right.
Like it feels like he was lied to or something.
Yeah, obviously,
Because
this is why.
everyone else assumes that he'd be a big part of the film too, but he's just not.
Yeah, this is. I feel like, yeah, Jared Leto got a really raw deal, like Ben Affleck as well. They both got really raw deals when it came to this kind of Snyderverse, DC extended universe, whatever you want to call
It's like
this.
why would you? He's like why would you cast someone who like is like insane, like crazy about their roles, but you don't bother using him? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess we'll
it's a
never
real
know.
shame
But
because
yeah,
yeah, Jared Leto, he puts so much effort into his roles. And listen, he's still, at the end of the day, regardless of that, doesn't just because you put a lot of effort in doesn't mean you're a good actor, right? It
yeah,
doesn't
that's
mean
true.
like you're necessarily. Obviously, I'd say I'm a fan of Jared Leto from what I've seen from him. I'm a fan of
Yeah,
his of
his Paul Allen
his
in American
you know
Psycho.
I like what he does. And actually, if I contrast this to Blade Runner 2049, which is also a film where he's not in it much. He's not a cameo, but he's in it for about, I think he's got about 12 minutes of screen time as well,
Yeah,
right?
more than
So
Joker
in
in
that
this.
sense, it's comparable to Suicide Squad in the role he plays here, because he plays a very important, pivotal character within the film, but he's used very sparingly. Okay,
Yeah,
now Suicide Squad and Blade Runner 2049 are like day and night when it comes to writing. And um, and when you see that film and you have Jared Leto there, and he's surrounded by exceptional actors, and he's got a real script, he's got real character that's like fleshed out, and he's able to deliver what he wants to do, and you can see the results of his preparation when he's delivering his performance, because he puts so much effort into it, and you want to be able to see the results of that. So when he has the chance, he's very good at doing that. He's a very capable actor. This is why he's an Oscar winner as well.
yeah,
So in that sense, he's like he's when he's given the chance, he's obviously fantastic. The problem with Suicide Squad is it's just a mishmash of like just so many terrible factors and influences. And I think he was the biggest loser of all of it, the biggest victim of that. He just,
yeah. Yeah, tonight's biggest
this
loser.
film damaged his reputation a lot as an actor in general. I mean, maybe not within Hollywood, but certainly I think when now you say Jared Leto to a lot of
Yeah, it's
people,
like a joke, especially in
yeah,
Morbius as well now. Like, I
yeah.
mean,
Unfortunately,
oh
most people just know him as
yeah,
a
that
shit
bad
Joker,
Joker.
which is
Yeah.
unfair. And like you say, at least he's in Justice League, the
Yeah, for
Snyder
two
Cut,
minutes.
and you get to see like, oh, okay, like there's a lot of redemption there. Fortunately, for us as fans, to be honest, but
Although
still,
there is one thing you can't redeem about him that I just remembered because it like haunted me. His laugh, man. His
Oh
laugh
yeah,
sucks, man. I hated it.
oh yeah, his laugh is terrible.
It's not even a proper laugh. It's just like him going,
Yeah, I
ah,
know.
ah. It's like shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah, man, his laugh is the worst, man.
And also, I mean, not to dwell on shitting on his laugh too much because there's been a lot said about that. I mean,
Okay,
everything's been said about it. Do you want
yeah,
to know who they first sought out for the role of the Joker?
gone.
Ryan Gosling.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I know. When I read that too, I was like, "What the fuck? Like, this has got to be fake." But
Wow.
the reason why Gosling rejected it was because he didn't want to sign on to like a multi-film deal, like that this was,
Yeah, okay.
which is fair enough. I mean, he probably wouldn't have been in Blade Runner 2049 if that was the case.
Well,
But
Ryan Gosling, he's like he's an exceptional actor, especially when it comes to like choosing his roles and like his career
Yeah.
choices. Yeah, I think he's someone that like thinks very carefully before he signs on, and maybe had a chat with Ben Affleck
Yeah,
beforehand or
maybe
something.
he did. I mean,
Um,
I can't really.
I think Ryan Gosling's just got to be one of those actors. I just hope he avoids fucking superhero films in general, man. It's just it would be kind of a little bit of a slur to his ability as an actor. But
Yeah.
I think he knows best. I mean, if he decides to cash in and join the MCU, sorry, then good luck to him.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I couldn't really imagine him as Joker, to be fair, but like,
yeah, I mean, if you dwell on that for a moment, I mean, you think about all the actors that nearly played the Joker. The
yeah,
one I
true.
always think,
Everyone was tried to play a Joker at some point.
if there's one actor I always wanted to see play the Joker, it would have been David Bowie. You know, that would have been like I'd love to have seen that. Obviously, unfortunately, we never will because David Bowie sadly passed away a
Yeah.
few years ago. But
I mean, Jared Leto was partially inspired by David Bowie for this. I mean, you can clearly
yeah,
see
I
that.
mean,
So
anyway, I don't want to harp on about David Bowie, otherwise this will be a very long episode.
yeah,
But
exactly. We've already gone on enough about Jared Leto, so
Jared Leto, yeah.
you have to talk about the actual
We'll
film
come
now.
back to it later anyway, right?
Yeah.
And although we do have, this is followed up by another scene with him where um, they have like they capture. I think is it that same guard who's with Will Smith earlier, and they have like he kind of like he's like in this room and he's like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then Joker walks in, and you do have a little bit. This is possibly like the only real moment where you get uh, the Joker being able to display a little bit of presence and authority. He walks in this room and then it's like, oh shit, this is why I'm here. And then he sits on the guy's lap and sort of
Uh,
does it. It kind of reminded me of Silver from
yeah, in Skyfall. Yeah, that's what I thought
yeah.
too. But like,
Which
this is the
was cool.
thing. I remember watching this interrogation scene, and I was writing in my notes, this interrogation of this dude is actually all right. And then I paused it to write this, and then Jared Leto showed up, and I was like, until Jared Leto shows up, because I don't know, like his like dialogue, his words in this just of really like I don't know, I didn't like him where he's like blah 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 blah, and then sits on this guy's lap, and he's like, um, yeah, so you gonna do this or not? And it's like, I
That's
didn't like
funny.
it.
I'm kind of the opposite. I actually I thought this was like quite a good part. He's like kissing the ring and stuff. And this is like an this is where the joke is like he shows some presence. He shows his like insanity. He's like unnerving, unpredictable. Not in maybe the truest sense, like a Jack Nicholson Joker, but nevertheless, I think it was
You
still
never want
like
to credit Heath Ledger for anything, do you?
because Heath Ledger doesn't do like really unpredictable things, does he? He's like
Yeah, fair enough.
he plans everything out. That's not really.
Yeah,
Um,
true, but still.
well, when I think of like a true Joker performance in terms of like being accurate and everything, or true to the comics, whatever, in the style of like Joker being like an insane, unpredictable madman, which is what he is. He's scheming, but he's also subject to his own insanity.
Yeah, he
Basically,
could flip that.
that's
He
what
could
Jack
flip that
Nicholson
coin.
nailed. So that's why I would Jared
Do you
Leto's.
think? Do you think Jared Leto gets that a bit in this? Like, he's kind of unpredictable.
Well, not no, not that much.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to
Um,
see him much, but still.
yeah, exactly. You don't. But I think what you do get to see is more of the Joker's like psychological edge, especially with the scenes with Harley Quinn, which we'll get to later. But the way he's able to manipulate her, and you just see kind of people that aren't Batman interacting with him, which you don't really get much. We don't really well we do, but you know, I think that's quite interesting. And obviously Jared Leto goes he's trying to explore a dimension of or a portrayal of the Joker that we haven't seen before. He's trying to put his own stamp on it, which I respect. Does it work? No. Is that his fault?
Maybe
Partially,
not.
but
Who knows?
also no. So you know, I don't know. I mean, anyway,
Yeah. Is this like the wrap up and we finally see Amanda's plan in action or
no.
something?
We get
Oh,
we get I just looked down at my notes to see what's next. I'm just like, oh, the enchantress meets her brother. That's what I've got
oh
written.
yeah, yeah, because like yeah, fucking. I don't know what Amanda's plan was with this, because like she could just dip and leave, you know. Or maybe she didn't know the Enchantress was her brother. Who knows?
Fuck if I know, mate. Enchantress meets her brother basically, and basically they begin a subway attack. Right? They have like they fucking I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, she
Then
leaves Rick Flag for the fucking guy.
yeah. It's like dumb as shit, man. Anyway, so then we get what have I written here? Oh yeah, Joker does the easiest break-in ever.
Yeah,
Into,
the fucking van goes up to
yeah,
like the security checkpoint, and they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, you can't come in." They're like, "Can we leave a gift?" And it's like, it's
yeah.
a fucking van, man. Does this look like it's
For a
giving a gift?
fucking prison, like yeah, like oh yeah, sure thing, mate. God, can I just leave this unmarked box here, please? Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, this
Heavens,
giant sports bag,
why
you
is
know.
it ticking? Oh, no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, on your way.
Okay, you
Yeah,
might as well have just shot like the guards at the post and then just drive through the doors or
you're
something.
right. This really is like Joel Schumacher-esque fucking security, isn't it, man? This is terrible.
Oh man. Oh well.
But anyway, so yeah, the Joker performs the easiest break-in ever. In the meantime, the members of the Suicide Squad have been chipped with this like bomb slash tracker in their neck. Harley Quinn is like, they're obviously strapped to like wheelchairs and um, I can't remember what you call them, but the
Restraints.
like Hannibal
Straight.
Lecter fucking trolley, whatever you want to call it, the in the straitjackets shit. But anyway, she's texting the Joker one handed, and everyone's
Somehow.
fine
Yeah,
with
he
that.
gave
She's
her a
just got
phone.
Yeah, she's just got a phone on her, like,
Yeah,
and
and I don't
no one
understand
bats
either
an
because
eyelid.
it's 2016. She's got a brick phone, man. Like, what's going on
Yeah,
there?
I understand. Yeah, well, obviously it's like she's in prison, but still, like, why
Yeah.
has she got this phone? Why has she got the Joker's number on it? Why is no one like doing anything about it?
Yeah,
And, and more practically speaking, how is she able to text like that as well and like see what she's doing? And
this is an unveiling. I've never seen before. Harley with telekinesis can interact with phones without using her hands.
yeah, this is like the worst, man. So anyway, now we have possibly the worst scene in the film. I
Is
would
it the Seven
say is
Nation Army
when.
scene?
Sorry.
Is it where they're playing Seven Nation Army?
I think so, but it's not the license, the worst licensed music in this scene alone. Because you have the Suicide Squad are assembled, right, in this like camp, whatever, military camp. We get a random villain called Slipknot in there as well. He just
Yeah.
shows up. He's like, "Oh yeah, we forgot earlier. There's this guy
Yeah,
as well,
whoever
Slipknot."
Slipknot is, man.
Yeah, we're not going to focus on him too much because he dies immediately.
This is the
But
funny thing because I thought going into this film, I thought Captain Boomerang was the one that died, and then Slipknot and Captain Boomerang both have like the fucking personality of like a wet sock. So I
yeah.
was like, I was like looking at this, hoping Captain Boomerang would die, and I was like, this guy gets torn up, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that'd be
this
nice.
guy gets
Just kill him
blown
off.
up,
Yeah.
not Captain Boomerang. Fuck.
I wasn't aware though. You mentioned so Captain Boomerang's a Flash villain. I wasn't aware of that. That's really interesting. So, are any of these other? Do you know if any of these others aren't specifically Batman villains then?
God, I've got no idea, man.
Because
Like, there's
honestly,
too many
if I'm
mysteries, man.
honest, I'd never heard of El Diablo, never heard of Enchantress, I never heard of Katana
I think
or
Enchantress is just a like a generally a DC
DC villain.
villain, not like
Okay.
specifically one for
I
a
think
subject.
Enchantress rang a bell, but I mean, whatever. Fuck these guys, man.
Oh man,
Um,
you get like Quinn saying like, "Oh, what's that? I should kill everyone." Oh, sorry,
yeah.
just the voices, And I'm like, wow.
Only joking. The voices didn't say that. Ha fucking ha.
But
Great.
there was, oh man, there's one line in this scene that I thought like is probably my favorite line in the whole film, where
Cool.
like I think it was Rick Flag or some soldier gets up like a fucking iPad shows it to them saying, "Behold the voice of God," and then
Oh
like
yeah.
she comes up on screen.
Yeah, that was quite good. Amanda fucking Waller, man. Love her. Yeah, they read out the rules to these guys like, oh, if you fucking fart, you die. Um,
Yeah,
so
you
then,
can't run, so on and so forth.
yeah. And then they give them like the boxes with all their costumes and gear in it. Like, okay, get what you need. So, and it's just fucking cringe, man.
But
It's
then
like,
you get the worst line of this film, I think, where I thought this was originally from like a fucking like I thought this sort of like line template was from Marvel, but no, it's from this fucking film where Will Smith says, "What are we, some kind of Suicide Squad?"
oh, oh,
So bad.
oh. Oh, it's the worst fucking. But you know what? That wasn't even the line I was expecting to say because there's a
There's
bit
so
where
many
it's
bad
like,
lines in this.
yeah, there's like an equally bad line. I was expecting you to say this one where he goes, can you say that in English for those of us who don't speak good guy? Like,
Oh,
so
I want
bad,
to find. I
man.
want to get the. I want to find the writer of this film. Of they like
Oh,
put
yeah,
them
I
in
want to fucking
secret location.
lynch him, man. What the fuck? I mean, Will Smith, man. I mean, whatever you think of him as an actor or whatever, like,
Big.
but you can only deal with, I mean,
I can only do with so much
you only
cringe.
work with what you've got, right? And this is like really like bottom tier fucking. This is the most cringe, worst fucking. This film did not deserve to do well in the box office, man. Um, yeah, those two, and then yeah, what are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad? Yeah, like oh great,
Why? Why would you
thanks.
write that?
It's like
It's like this film's taking the piss out of itself. Like
yeah, it's
it's
like a
not helping
parody, man.
itself.
Um,
Like
and also, I wanted to add that this is the worst probably use of licensed music in this film, where it's like you have the real Slim Shady. So when they're all getting
yeah,
suited up, then they have the real Slim Shady music. It's like,
like why? Oh,
oh, it's just relentless, relentless cringe, man. In this whole fucking opening half an hour, man, doesn't give you a moment to fucking breathe, man. Apart
yeah.
from Ben Affleck
One
and
thing I will say as well, though, that I think you might have gotten as a reference, Harley's bat, right, that she uses. That's from the Arkham games, isn't it? At least it's like a reference to it, like her, her baseball bat, right? Apparently, it's a
I didn't clock that, but yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, must be.
first time you see a direct like Arkham games reference.
No, there was shit ton in fucking Batman vs
I
Superman.
know, I know, but this is like a very overt one. Like those are
Yeah,
like there probably are, but you don't know for sure.
yeah.
This is like no coincidence for sure.
I don't know if I want to talk about Harley Quinn's costume. I think better not.
Yeah, less said about it, the better.
Katana, yeah. Oh, yeah. So as they're getting on the
Yeah,
planes, Joy,
Katana turns up.
Katana just jumps on as well. Like, oh yeah, her sword traps souls. Just in case you were wondering,
Yeah, you get
like just
2 second
drop it in there.
backstory from her, like flashback in some like rainy alley. I killed
Fucking
this dude.
woeful, man. And this is a shame because Katana's someone that I've never heard of, but sounds quite compelling. Like, sounds like quite interesting. Like, this is like some kind of fucking Kill Bill, fucking Quentin Tarantino shit, man. It's like some fucking ninja that's like, whose husband got killed and now she's on like war path with a sword that traps souls. That sounds fucking cool, man. That's like there's so much to explore there, and they're just like throwaway line like, oh yeah, yeah, there's a ninja, yeah, her sword traps souls, like, oh
Yeah, it's like,
really
oh, she
cool.
can
I'm
kill
like,
all
wait,
of you.
what? Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's also like, oh yeah, she can kill all of you. I'm like, oh, as if the bombs you have aren't enough.
yeah, exactly.
Like, what's
So
the?
hang on a minute. So is Katana? Oh, so she's not she's like with the establishment.
No, no, she's help. She's on their side, not with like the criminals. She's like another
Oh,
failsafe. Like she
oh,
cuts
okay.
down, so on and so forth. Because she's not really a bad
Sure.
person in this.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand why they put her as a backup. Like I said, because they
I don't
already
know
have
what. Yeah, they
one.
just throw her in there, man. Like, oh yeah. By the way, should like.
Yeah, you won't remember half of these people. Hopefully, you'll remember this one.
Anyway, I think at this point we've met everyone now. So let's just tighten that up here. Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Amanda Waller, Captain Boomerang, El Diablo, Killer Croc, Enchantress, Rick Flag, Slipknot, Katana. That's
Yeah.
10 brand new fucking characters, all of whom, apart from Amanda Waller, are shit. So that's great. Good start.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we can even rank them
Amanda's got to have
in,
like
in order
fucking
of how bad
backstory
they are.
after carrying the film.
Do you want to do a very quick, like who's like a quick ranking of like good to good,
Who's
best
the
to
who's the
worst?
best or worst man? If
Amanda
I
Waller, obviously the best. Who's the best other than Amanda Waller out of them?
oh, I don't know. It's either got to be. I mean, we're not including
Oh, I
Joker.
actually forgot Joker as well. 11.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Yeah, well, Joker's in it for 2 seconds anyway. Joker or it's I'd say either Joker or El Diablo.
I'm putting Joker second, man. But yeah, El Diablo is like the least shit because at least he's kind of like he's
Yeah,
not over the top. That's
yeah,
the thing.
he's
That's
not
the
like
only
taking
thing.
the piss out of himself. He's not like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm in such a quirky film. I've got quirky lines,
yeah. He's
and
like,
I'm gonna. It's like, yeah, he's actually a tortured man because he killed his family.
yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. He's like,
He doesn't fit in basically.
Yeah, he's really low key. He's quite subtle, even though he's like, yeah, homie, dog, whatever. But he's like, there's actually
He
this
doesn't
this
want to use his
actor's like,
powers, you know.
yeah, he's like, okay.
I mean,
Uh,
then you got
I mean, but his power is stupid, man. The fucking fire bullshit, man. Like, what's that? He's like satanic or something. I don't really understand.
yeah. I
But
mean,
but yeah,
the-
his backstory is cool as fuck, to be fair. And but yeah, he's like, yeah, he okay. So he's like third, and then I think we're just getting into like who's the least shit out of the rest.
I mean, I like. I mean, Hardy's like that's like the dyed hair and everything. The makeup is pretty good.
I want to
Uh,
put, you know what? I just want to put Slipknot fourth because
he gets killed. Yeah,
he's like the love affair in Batman and Robin. He's like highly ranked because he does nothing, and that's still better than
yeah.
being
He doesn't
shit. You
do
know,
it.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
so
I
I
like
just
that.
want to nominate Slipknot as fourth out of these.
I mean,
uh,
yeah. You got Harley's got the well.
Harley.
She's got the look nailed, kind of minus the outfit. But
No, she doesn't have the look nailed really, but I'd still give it. At least she's like, you kind of believe she's insane, and you just
yeah,
like
true. She does that kind of well.
bit too much. But it's like, okay, yeah, we'll roll with that one.
Everyone else you could put in any fucking order.
Okay,
Maybe
who's the worst then?
the one I wanted to see killed most was Captain Boomerang. I just hate him.
Yeah,
If
I
if I
wouldn't
could
mind
like
if
yeah,
they
if I
killed
if I had the fucking detonate button, but I could only use it on one person, it'd be Captain Boomerang every time. Do you hate Rick Flag?
That's a good
Loads of
shout.
other
I don't
board.
know. I'd be very tempted to use it. I mean, I know he doesn't have one, but on Rick Flag, I
Yeah,
think his character's fucking terrible, man.
most of them are. Oh man,
Yeah, but those two are like bottom two, I think.
God, I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
want to dwell on it. I mean, like,
Yeah, let's move on, man.
yeah, what
Anyway.
happens afterwards?
Oh.
They survive a helijet crash.
Yeah.
Apparently, that I'm pretty sure that scene was filmed last, so they didn't get injuries for the rest of the shooting. But like,
Well, they didn't get injuries. Full stop.
yeah,
They're
it
in
was
a fucking
so dumb.
helicopter, which is fucking
Rolls like
explode
seven
in
times.
midair, just like a Casino Royale Aston Martin DBS fucking barrel roll across the fucking streets and shit, crashing, blowing up and shit, man. Every single one of them walks out without a scratch.
Yeah, it's like they could have at least been like, oh fuck, like this job's shit or something. I don't know, like
I
one of
think
them's got a broken
they
arm or
even have
something.
a line or something where it's like, "Oh, that was bumpy, right?" or something like
Yeah,
that. They
that was
just
Harley, man. She just jumps out like
yeah,
skipping a hop, out the wreckage. It's like, fuck is this, man?
that is like the worst thing I've ever seen. What the
You wouldn't
fuck?
even in like this probably wouldn't even happen in like the fucking Batman and Robin.
No, this is like just parody. This is just parody. It's just parody. This is like some
Ah.
like next level satire, man. I don't even know.
And one of the things I also hated that happens in this film a lot is like it doesn't even stick with being like a parody of itself or like being comedic and lighthearted
Yeah.
because then suddenly the music shifts and then it's like all dark for a second. You're meant to
Oh
be building tension. It's like you can't do that. You can't flip flop like this.
no, it's so bad, man. I hate this fucking film. The next thing that happens is what's his name? Slipknot and Captain Boomerang. They're like, yeah, let's fucking escape.
Yeah, these bombs are bullshit. They're fake.
Yeah, yeah. They have this short-lived
Why
escape,
would
which
they be
like
bluffing? Like they wouldn't release you from
s-
prison and they injected you
so
all.
bad. Slipknot like shoots off a grapple, like starts hovering up and then just dies, man. It's like the most embarrassing shit death of all time, man.
Yeah, I wish it was Captain Boomerang as well. I keep saying it, but I fucking hate.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, these Slipknot was like, I mean, they just didn't bother with him. So like, I don't even know if I wanted this guy. I didn't know if this guy was going to be shit or not. Probably was, but we never even found. He's just there to demonstrate the fact that the bombs are real. That's literally it.
Yeah, it's like
That's
they
the
met, like
purpose
they
of your
also
character.
met Amanda. They know she probably would kill them if she got a chance.
Yeah, I don't know why they even bothered giving him a name, man. It's just like, oh yeah, just to show you this is real. Bang, it's just so terrible, man.
They could have knocked off any of the other characters, like that
Yeah,
they
man.
already had.
Anyway, then we have this kind of the first bit of action in this film, really, with you have this kind of like zombie fight. I guess I don't really know what else to call them, but
Alien
zombies.
zombies, resurrected people. I don't
They
know.
are basically zombies, right? I mean, more or less. And that's how I'm going to refer to them for the rest of this film. And yeah, obviously questionable how what actually kills them though, because you've got all these fucking weapons that Deadshot is using, and then you've got just Harley Quinn swinging a baseball bat around and like decimates them with that. So
Yeah,
that
that's
seems
very
legit.
questionable. Yeah, it's like they're like tailored to each, heroes or villains
Yeah,
fucking,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
weapons arsenal.
So fucking bad, man. You've got Rick Flag, who's like taken down like a sack of potatoes, man, being carried away by these zombies. So they're like, "Oh yeah, we have to save him, man." Which they do. He's just like embarrassing. He's just an embarrassing character, man. How's this guy fucking Colonel, man? How did he ascend to that fucking rank? It's just the least convincing fucking
Yeah,
thing
man.
ever.
I have to.
Um, yeah, and Tom Hardy, I'm sure he wouldn't have let himself get carried off like that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly. He'd have fucking fought the writer first.
yeah, we get to have a look at Captain Boomerang's pinky toy. Just so bad, man.
Yeah,
We
as if you
get
have to
like,
be reminded.
yep, yep. We've got Deadshot has like a little kind of just shows off his shooting abilities.
That bit's all right, I
Yeah, I was
guess.
going to say, but that's
And
kind
I
of
thought
cool.
the only time they showcased it was in the shooting range part, but no, you
Yeah,
actually get to see it, like, because everyone it is kind of funny because like everyone's like he's killing them all so fast that everyone's kind of stood there looking at him like that's
yeah, yeah. That was very cool, actually. To be fair. Um. Anyway, we actually get to see how these zombies are being created, and it's done by Enchantress. Fucking just,
basically.
fucking, you know, like tonguing like random people off the street and like recruiting them like that. So
Yeah, it's I don't understand it because it's like I don't know why they have felt the need to make her do that instead of just use a magic spell. Because
yeah,
if this was her brother doing it instead, they wouldn't make him make out with them,
it's
would
just
they?
fucking humiliating. It's just terrible, man.
Like that does not add anything to the thing. There's no
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay. What am I supposed to take away from that? It's just terrible, man. Um. Oh yeah. As they're walking along the street, we get Harley Quinn smashing a window, robbing something. Goes, "We're bad guys. It's what we do."
Oh man, I actually couldn't note down how many fucking bad lines there are in this because I wanted to forget them.
That's right up there. But there's so many. There's far from the last of them, man. Anyway, now we get a little. Oh yeah, and she looks at something and then has a flashback, right? And oh yeah, she sees a motorbike, and then she's like, that reminds her of the other motorbike when she
The
went
other
and
time when she was on a motorbike trying to
yeah.
like
Hey,
get
there's a
Joker's
motorbike there.
attention.
That reminds me of this other motorbike, and it's just like a terrible segue into this kind of flashback she has where she's where she like goes after the Joker, who like used her to escape from Arkham, and then doesn't want to know her. So she's like proving that she's like
Yeah,
she's about
devoted
it.
to him.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like
Yeah, it's like it feels like because yeah, he's like, oh, I'm not someone who's loved. I'm like an idea or something.
yeah,
Like and like he shoots like a random trucker who he's blocking the path of because he's fucking stopped his car in the middle of the road. And he gets the gun like this is like
no,
the
she
I,
shoots him.
yeah, well, yeah, when I saw this, yeah, he shoots that guy, but
No, 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 she shoots him.
yeah, but she doesn't.
Harley
Yeah,
Quinn
no, she
does.
doesn't actually shoot. Oh yeah, she shoots that guy. So sorry,
Yeah.
but then he does like the B-Tech version of Joker and Harvey Dent in the Dark Knight, where like he puts the gun up against his head and he's like, oh yeah, do it, like do it, do it, do it, and it's like why? Like, and there's no like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get what the point of this is. I mean, yeah, okay, he's crazy. Like, you can't use it as a fucking bailout for everything, can you?
Yeah.
Does he want to die? I don't think so.
I think of all the Jared Leto Joker scenes. I think this is probably the worst one. This is where it's just like blatant trying to be Heath Ledger or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I know he's not, but I think subconsciously he must have like just been so inspired by that performance. Understandably so. He must have been so inspired by that, and it probably just like and before he was even cast as the Joker, I can imagine an actor like him was so captivated by Heath Ledger's performance that probably like inspired
Yeah,
him a lot. And even if he wanted to avoid being like Heath Ledger, he just probably had so much
got
inspiration
swept
from
up
that.
by it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, who can blame him? To be fair, but still.
Yeah, and for someone like Jared Leto, I don't know like if he ever met Heath Ledger, if they had any kind of like whatever, but you know, I'm sure they'd have got on like a shit house on fire, you know. But
Yeah,
anyway,
they
we'll never
probably
know.
would have been like, oh yeah, I method acted like this. Oh, I screamed, different laughs in New York.
Well, this is gonna tie into our game later on, Lesser or Ledger, you know.
Yeah, it's like, can you tell the difference? But anyway,
Yeah, I'm
what
looking
goes
forward
on
to that.
after this? Like,
Um, but anyway, so yeah, that's all we have to say about that scene. So now they're
oh
coming
yeah,
up.
their current mission is to rescue
Yeah,
like a
they have to
most
rescue a
important person,
VIP from this building, so they ascend the building.
including
Um,
yeah, they're meant to do it quietly, and then Harley goes up the lift really loudly, just so
so
quirky.
quirky. Yeah, man.
And I have my notes here, just as Harley dies in the elevator twice.
Yeah, totally would, man. Um,
Just like she like fights off these people, like it's like these monsters and so on. Like when they, it's like when you watch a film, where like for example in The Dark Knight Rises, where Batman is like fighting people, and there's like basically two people like idling in the background with
yeah,
guns. These like they're not there to kill. They're just there to be there for her to punch because like they could have easily just like snapped her neck or something like that. But they just they're like one of them holds her while the other one fights her. I don't know. It's just in such a close space as well. You can't really use a baseball bat, can you?
yeah, exactly. Well, anyway,
It never sells like that these things are an actual threat because you just know they're always going to
yeah.
be there.
They get into another kind of shootout with these zombies, and then um, obviously so far El Diablo's done nothing. He's like refusing to fight. Basically, he's
Yeah.
just vibing there, you know. Um, but Deadshot confronts him, and he's like, "Oh, listen, brother, you know, like fucking, you know, you need to fight." He basically like winds him up into, and this is just so like weak, man. It's like I can't really
It
decide if
wasn't
this is.
necessary to use it anyway. They could have just shot them all.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Deadshot run
either
out of
like
bullets? Probably not.
if you're being generous, this is like a good character development moment, but
Yeah, because he actually uses powers for some.
yeah, but it's just like it's done in such a weak way. It's like it's kind of like wow, you know, this guy's like you believe that this guy's really strong-willed. You know, he's like very sure of himself, and he's you know refusing to tap into these powers again. But he's just gets into like a little back and forth with Will Smith, and that's all it takes for him to just you know use his powers. I don't know if it's because he's in a high pressure situation or whatever, but still, I think like you know, again, I think this is just down to poor writing, but you know, it's cool that he does that, but the way he's like you
Yeah,
know
it's not. This doesn't.
pushed
It's
into
not like a
doing it could have been
satisfying.
done. I'm
It's
sure
not
it
a
could have been done
satisfying
better.
scene. I feel
Sorry.
it's not like a satisfying scene. I
No,
feel
yeah,
when he
exactly.
finally uses it, it's like so like dramatic and so on. Like it's like burning the whole building, but it's like
Yeah,
it's there's like it's not like there was any real danger that necessitated him
yeah,
to having to use it. But like
yeah,
I guess if the writers probably got to this point, they were like, oh well, if they're all being swarmed by them and he has to do something, then he can't use it because he'll burn them alive anyway. But to be fair, given how invincible they are anyway from fucking helijet crash, I guess it doesn't matter, does
yeah.
it?
You know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know why they didn't go this down. I mean, it would have made a big difference to the fucking quality of this film anyway. But something would have just made it slightly more sense. Is that El Diablo doesn't use his fire abilities until the final showdown, that boss fight he basically
Yeah,
had.
true. That's a
You
good
know,
point.
if it's at that moment he's like, yeah, you know, he does that fucking terrible line we'll get to later, which I open with, but you know, and then he goes, yeah, I'm gonna use it. You know, like that'd have been
Yeah,
really
yeah,
fucking
it
cool. That'd
lessens
have been
that.
like pretty epic, man. You know, you'd be like, oh shit, that's really good. But he just wastes it on this like irrelevant scene. It's like, oh, great. It just serves absolutely no purpose at all, which is a shame. Um, Harley. Anyway, so then they're like walking up some stairs, and Harley looks down the
Yeah,
stairs and
flashback to
remembers another time she looked down off her tall surface, which
uh,
was now this is
comic
maybe
accurate.
the highlight of what the Joker does in this whole film because although it's like it ends terribly, but I don't know. It's like you have it. I really like this scene, like in a purist sense, because you know it's like you have the whole vat of chemicals, the acid and shit, and like and it just without showing Joker's origin story, it shows you it. You know, it's like this is clearly what he did, and now he's like,
Yeah, it's
you
like an
know,
initiation almost.
yeah, yeah, exactly. He's like saying, well, okay, well, if you're about, would you die for me? Yes. Would you live for me? And it's like, yes. And then like, okay, go on then. You know,
Yeah, just pushes
um,
her in, and he's like,
does
right.
he push her, or does she like fall of her own accord?
I'm pretty sure he pushes her in, because like
Or she
in
just falls
the
back? I don't know.
no, I'm pretty sure he pushes her in because
Like,
like it's I mean it's not entirely clear what his intentions are because like there is a novelization of this film that exists for some reason, and it's like Joker's sort of thinking, oh, I got rid of her now, but then he's like has pity
oh
on her
really?
and jumps in after her. I mean, don't know if that's what they were originally going with this film, but the only thing I had to write about this in my notes was Joker and Harley both have cholera now, but
Yeah, for sure, man. I was gonna say, like, that's what ruins the scene at the end. They like he jumps in, then they like
they're
they're
like covered
kissing.
in it.
Like, there's like whatever that shit is. Presumably, what I assumed from this scene was that is basically this is what I went through to become the Joker. This is what you've got to go through to become my lover or my partner, or whatever, right? That's what I took from it. That's what he fell in. Maybe not that exact same factory, but maybe he took her back to where it all began for him. Very possibly.
Yeah,
I,
who
I
knows?
like to think it's like he went through like a Batman '89 origin story, effectively, and minus the bullet through both cheeks.
Yeah.
Um, but and then he went back to that same chemical plant and was like, okay, well, now it's your turn. Basically, if you're about it, then this is how you're going to do it. This is how you're going to be like me, or whatever, I guess. And you know, she does. I think they fall from like a surface which is a little bit too high for me to go like, okay, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
because in
sure they
'89 it's
survived
not
it.
at all.
Hey, but listen, they survived the fucking helicopter crash. But you
Yeah,
know,
you don't understand, James. The reason why it has to be so high is because she's looking down a stairwell and obviously
yeah, yeah,
anti-gravity
yeah, yeah, of course.
because they have to
But
segue
still,
into it somehow. And she is
yeah.
off
Anyway, so
meds
he
and they
jumps in after her, which I
just
think is a cool moment. Um, and that's where you get the Joker madness. This is where it's like something unpredictable about him. He was just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go as well. Even though he's probably been through that experience, and I would assume normally that would be like extremely painful, whatever. Your probably skin is burning and shit, whatever. I don't know. I've never done it, but yeah. The problem is this is like quite a very interesting and powerful scene, but it's just ruined by the end of it, where they're just making out in this whatever that
do
is. They're like
not make an. I don't
they're
think they actually make out
swallowing,
at
they're
all.
inducing whatever fucking chemicals are in that fucking
Who
vat. So
knows? Well, to be fair, imagine if they went with like a Batman v Superman thing where like yeah, Joker starts rising out of the acid.
yeah, fucking hell.
Just imagine they could have made it worse.
Yeah. It's actually reminded me of a Rick and Morty episode as well, where they like they jump into a vat of something and they're just sat there until And anyway, it doesn't matter. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, then anyway, then you've got okay, so then you've got like the kind of plot twist in this film, which is they go to the top of this building,
Yeah,
they enter this room.
I
Well,
think
actually,
Rick
Rick
Flag
Flag
enters
just
it
enters it.
first. Yeah,
Rick Flag enters it, and then Deadshot also does. Like,
yeah. For some
even
reason,
though
even
he's
though
not
he's holding
supposed
up
to, he just lets
outside.
himself in. And it's like, oh, now, and then yeah, it turns out Amanda's there the whole time. This is all like set up so that she can basically get her personal team to save her in the name of like also being a training exercise, whatever. I guess I don't know. And then she kills her whole team there,
Yeah, I mean,
So
I know it is kind of dumb, but I guess they didn't have the clearance for to know about all this stuff, given that there was this random terrorist attack that happened because of the enchantress and so on. No, people aren't meant to know
okay,
about this
okay,
because
that
she
makes sense.
said
Yeah, because I always thought it's like super unnecessary for her to do that, other than just reinforce the fact she's like a bitch, like she is killing all the.
no, she says like, oh, they didn't have the clearance, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
And
but that's just like I think that's just a lazy explanation. It's like
I know, but it's like it's one of those things where like the scene, she does it in such a cool way that you don't.
yeah, true.
Just like, and I forgot that this had happened because I was barely paying attention the first time
Okay.
I watched it. But then when she just starts like shooting everyone in the office, I'm like, damn,
Yeah, I think
like
even Will Smith has like a terrible line where he says something like, "Oh, that's one mean lady" or something like that.
But still,
But yeah, I mean, what did you think of it? It's like, okay, this is kind of like the plot twist of the film, right? So, do you think it was like particularly good or bad? Or did it get you like, or was it just like, oh, okay,
it wasn't like something that I was like, oh wow. But then I don't know. I was like kind of surprised by it, sort of, but it wasn't something like which blew my mind. It's for this film.
yeah,
I was like, kind of like, yeah.
yeah, same. So I was watching, I was just like,
The
oh,
surprise was her shooting
okay.
the office, which I thought was quite cool.
Yeah, that was more of a surprise than like that. I was just like, it's like, yeah, I was like, oh, that's like interesting. They did that, but nothing more than that. It's just like, oh, okay, like wasn't mind blowing. It's just like, oh, they could have like, I feel like they didn't do a good enough build up of that or something like that. Like, oh, whoever's behind this door, we have to like, this is what it's all for. We got to be prepared, whatever. Da da da.
Hmm.
And then it's just her. That would have been like, they could have built that up way better. I think that would have made it more powerful more like more like shock factor, whereas you just like, oh, it's kind of confusing almost, just like, oh wait, oh okay, they're there, like whatever. But anyway, and now we get, okay, this is kind of like a follow-up little like one double whammy here, because they go to the rooftop, helicopter comes to like pick them up,
Yeah,
and the Joker's fucking in it, so
yeah. He has a cool outfit, to be fairness.
yeah, it's
The gold
fucking
machine
great, man.
gun.
And that is
The
surely a nod
reference.
to Batman '89 when Jack Nicholson, when he first makes public appearance and he like, the pen's mightier than the sword. You remember his outfit in that? This is
Yeah,
very
the
similar,
black
I
and white
think.
one.
Yeah, this is very similar.
It could be, but I think, I mean, Jared Leto's outfits do reference a lot of different comics, so it
Oh
could
yeah,
apply
that as
to
well.
any
Well,
number of
but
them.
so did that '89 suit. So
Yeah, true. I mean, I liked it. I liked his outfit, but
yeah, yeah,
I
very
mean,
cool.
his at least he actually did a proper laugh for this. Whether or not it was that good, it beats his when he's like shooting, he's like kind of doing like the Max Zorin thing, like
Ah,
just
yeah, yeah, you're right, yeah. But it wasn't very like noticeable laugh. But yes, hell of a lot better than his fucking
yeah, exactly.
usual laugh.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, the other one's noticeable because it's bad. This one's just not noticeable.
Yeah. Um.
I love that gun though. It's very
So
cool.
Harley Quinn jumps onto the helicopter with the Joker, and her neck bomb doesn't work.
Yeah, he's been disarmed because,
How?
well, when Joker did that break-in, he went to the scientist and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got your family hostage," and then she's like, "Do whatever they say," and then he basically goes in so he can disarm them because he's figuring out how to disarm their night, and he disarms Harley Quinn's one so they can't kill her.
Oh, okay. All right,
And
that's cool. Then that
this was
makes sense.
this was still idiotic because I remember like Rick Flag's like he already hates her anyway, and he's like, "Oh, her nanite's disarmed." I'm like, "You're a soldier, right? Pistols also work."
Yeah,
They're like, Amanda's also like, "Oh yeah, Deadshot, you've got to kill her." I'm like, "No, fucking get Rick Flag to kill her," or is he just
yeah.
Deadshot the only one who's allowed to use guns because that's
He's
his
the only
thing?
one who can aim. you,
Yeah,
you trust
exactly. Like,
Deadshot above
what's
this
this shit?
fucking colonel, man.
So that Deadshot probably won't do it. He's like, "Oh, I missed. Sorry." And then
Yeah,
she's still making it very easy to shoot her anyway because
yeah, man.
she's hanging on a rope like fucking View to a Kill style. And then
Yeah,
Rick Flag is still just like, "Oh, damn, she really got away." No.
yeah, yeah. And it's like, it's just again, it just undermines Rick Flag. Like I'm sure Amanda Wallace would have asked Boomerang to like take her
Yeah,
out before
exactly.
he asked her. Like it's just so embarrassing for him, man. It's just like, this is just constantly undermining him. Anyway, yeah, Deadshot like misses Harley Quinn. Um, I still don't really understand what they were trying to do with this scene, because it's like, he prides himself. His whole thing is that he's never missed a shot, and then he does. So
Yeah, he does it on purpose, obviously. So he's like,
yeah, but
"Sorry."
that just doesn't convince me, because if he's like the assassin that he is, I don't know. Like that's the first time in his entire career that he's missed a shot, and he's like cool with it. So I don't know if that's meant to be like really like some kind of character development, or
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
it's because he respects Harley for some reason. Who knows?
Yeah,
Or maybe
exactly.
he
It's just
doesn't.
like, why does he give a shit? Just fucking do it, man. Like
Maybe he doesn't want
this
to
is
get
your
on the
day job.
Joker's bad side.
I don't know. It just doesn't work. And
There's no
plus,
real
she's
excuse.
abandoned them, right? So it's like, yeah, fuck this bitch, man. Like, just shoot her. I don't think really Deadshot would think twice about doing that. Wouldn't think twice.
I don't know. Maybe he's like, oh well, she wants a life of freedom. Guess what? So do I. I can relate to that.
And yeah, no, I don't think so, man. Deadshot's like, and it's just so if he wanted to, from what we can assume about Deadshot, from what we've seen, he would be very capable of like shooting the rope above her and severing that. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Ah,
he misses like deliberately. I don't know, it's kind of shit.
yeah. Yes, they
Uh,
only have one more. Yeah, because they're meant to be two helijets to pick them up. Then Amanda's like, "Oh fuck it, I'll just send you one afterwards," and then she goes off in her own one.
yeah. Um, yeah. That's right, and gets shot down. I forgot about that. To be fair,
Yeah,
yeah.
which happens like in 2 seconds, might I add. Like it's so
Yeah,
matter of fact that it's like
yeah.
I don't know.
Also, Joker's helicopter gets shot down, so like they're about to jump off for some reason. Oh yeah, a random fucking rocket is launched at them, so their helicopter thing, and she falls out, but Joker like loses his footing and falls back and dies. Sure.
Yeah, yeah. I originally thought first time I see this that he actually died, but then I noticed this time it's off screen, so you don't know if he died. So he didn't die. If it's not on
Obviously not.
screen, he didn't die.
Yeah, at least we didn't see the soil rise up off his coffin though.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Joker. In the next film. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like
Um.
kept it open for him and then never used him.
Yeah. They have. And then this is just where it's like. This is the particular scene where I'm like, just the music shit. They just like they try and suddenly go into like some serious film vibe where it's like, oh, it's suddenly so they're all on the rooftop and everything. Like, oh, now it started raining. Oh, now it's
Now
dark.
it's
Now we've got some
sad.
piano. Oh, like oh, boo,
Yeah, they didn't
fucking
give a fuck when Slipknot got blown up, did they?
yeah. It's just like the worst shift in tone ever, man. And it's just like this generic fucking template fucking film that you or I could make, man, on a budget. It's just like so fucking basic, man.
I don't know, man.
And
I mean,
yeah, Waller's down, and she's like, she has a really badass moment, man. 'Cause she like picks up a fucking rifle and she starts like shooting zombies and
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Oh,
She's just fucking killing them all, man.
she's such a good fucking character, man. Like,
She deserved better, man. She could have been put in a
well,
better film,
she
man.
returns in the Suicide Squad, so I hope we get more of the same.
Yeah,
But
true.
we'll get to
That
find
I
out.
that I really want to see. Like just if not for the others, just for her.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I'm like very reluctant to watch that film, but we kind of have to. If we watch Catwoman, then we have to watch that. Um, Catwoman furthering punishing me, man. Like, why can't I just whatever?
Wow.
Um. So anyway, Waller gets captured by these zombies and taken back to
Yeah.
Enchantress, and she has a great fucking
Yeah,
line,
she's a
man.
cool fucking line, man.
Yeah, she's like, "Do your worst, you bitch." It's like, oh, so fucking good, man. Viola Davis fucking kills it, man.
Yeah, because they're
Like,
like, yeah, because the Enchantress trying to intimidate her and shit. She's like,
yeah,
yeah, fuck you.
yeah, literally, she's like, don't care, man. Like, oh, like
Yeah, because she
it's.
doesn't. She's not even like shaking or anything, man.
No, she doesn't flinch, man. She does battle, and she's like, "Do your worst, you bitch!" Like, literally
Batman might not be in this.
fearless,
I feel
man.
like, I mean,
Mate,
Batman's
she's
not in this,
got
but I feel like she's like there. She's like his representative in spirit. Like.
yeah. Amanda Waller's got bigger bollocks than like the entire Suicide Squad put together, man. Oh, I fucking love her character, man.
Although
Um,
one thing that I think I can't. I'm pretty sure this happens beforehand as well. But
mm,
like when they one good bit of acting from Margot Robbie was that when
oh yeah.
she's like grieving for the Joker and so on, but then as soon as the squad turns up, she's like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm really happy. Am I right? Like she goes back to her facade, and I'm like, oh, it is a facade, which
Well,
adds a layer, I guess.
yeah. That's a good moment, but it just like, well, then is she insane or not? Then she is, but that's such like an uninsane thing to do that where it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah,
It
maybe she's
just
like got multiple personality disorder or something, being like.
yeah. That's the only. I mean, yeah, that's the answer I'd put down to it. I don't. It's like facade or whatever, but like she's like, yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
sorry. We used the wrong personality in the wrong friend
yeah.
group.
um, we have this like crappy plot reveal where like Deadshot finds some like dossier and then reads it, and he's like, oh, this is all a setup, man. Like, oh no fucking shit.
But
You
you
fucking
think?
yeah. Um, so then like, yeah, well, fuck you, Rick Flag. We're going to this
We're going
bar.
to drink, yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? You know what I said earlier? What was the scene I said earlier was the worst scene in the film? Oh yeah, when they're all in
But
that
they're all getting
military camp.
suited up, yeah.
This,
Is the
oh
bar
God,
scene, you
it's
think?
the worst scene maybe in any film we've reviewed so far. I think I'm like,
That's very, that's
that's
very
quite a
damning.
statement because I'm including Catwoman, I'm including Batman and Robin, but this bar scene is like just terrible from start to finish, man.
I think this was one of the things that was added in the extended cut as well, or they had more stuff in this. Like, uh, oh yeah, I remember. Like, there's so much bad dialogue in this. I think like at one point Hardy's like, well, everyone's, yeah, because someone says to her like you're fucking, you're great on the outside, but you're fucking ugly on the inside. And she
Oh
goes,
yeah, yeah, no,
aren't
put the
we
quote here,
all? And then she goes to like Killer Croc and says, except him. And it's like
and he
that's already
goes,
bad enough. And then she has to, explain the joke, being like, he's also ugly on the inside. And I'm like, thank
yeah, and then he goes, "Not me, Shawty, I'm beautiful." Just like
why.
the only audible line he has is like, oh, I don't even have a word to like describe how bad that was, man. Not
It's
me,
funny as
Shawty,
well. I mean,
I'm beautiful.
it is funny as well because like I wrote this in my notes. Like when Captain Boomerang walked out the bar, I just wrote, I hope he leaves the film now. Like because I was like, I don't remember anything happening afterwards, so I hope they actually exited. But
It's
well,
so cringe, man, because they're like, oh, they have all their drinks and stuff, man, and it's like not even well thought out, or it's like not even like
I'm
cool.
gonna have a water, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually, okay, now this is the only good
Diablo
thing
has a
about this
good part
scene.
in this, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, we get to see El Diablo's backstory finally,
why he doesn't
and
use his powers,
yeah,
except for that
and
one time he did.
El Diablo is like maybe the best written character in this film, but
Yeah,
apart
because
from
they
Amanda
actually
Waller.
wrote him.
Yeah, but like they just put all his actions in the wrong order. Like we should have got his family thing right at the beginning, or maybe not the very, very beginning, but like in the second or third time you see him, then you explain this backstory. And then you have like him actually, and then that would add so much punch to like him actually using the fire at the end for the boss fight. But instead, he used the fire before, after an argument with Will Smith, for like a purpose that was like irrelevant.
Yeah,
So
just the
just loses
CGI
all value
department
and
gets
meaning.
something.
It's like the one character they put a little bit of effort into, they just fumbled it.
Yeah, I mean,
But still, it's like quite pretty like compelling, man. Like you like burn his family, man. You know, it's like and you have
it was
that you
pretty
have quite a
shocking.
good cut where it's like the whole thing's in flames and he's holding like this charred fucking corpse in his arms. It's like pretty fucked up, to be fair.
Yeah, meanwhile, like Harley's like, yeah, just
Oh,
own it. Like, why would you? It's like getting it's a lot of this film.
yeah.
One
No,
of
she
one of the
goes.
ways.
Oh, yeah. He tells this like really compelling story, like really like moving and shit, and then the first thing you hear is own that shit. Own that. She like repeats it like 3 times as well, man. Like it's not gonna get better if you keep saying it. It's just terrible. Just stop. Just stop.
Yeah, I mean, like this reminds me. There are several times in this film, and one of those is where like your son for a minute you're going to something good, and then it's like takes you out of it immediately.
Yeah.
It's like that form of torture where they like throw your head in like freezing water, then take you out again. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
then like it's like the same thing with like when Amanda's introducing like the backstories of every single character. It's like you see Amanda for 30 seconds, you're like, oh, this is great, and then fucking you go into like some shitty like dumb backstory or something.
Oh yeah, actually, now you touch on it, there was another little Arkham reference there with Croc with Killer Croc, because he chewed off one of the guard's hands, and in
Oh yeah.
the games or in the comics, that's a guard called, I believe, Aaron Cash. I think that's his name, and I don't think they name check him in this one, but I think it's cool that they throw that in there. Um, but yeah, this bar scene is fucking terrible.
Yeah, and so
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
and
yeah
then
with
Rick
this
Flag joins the mid scene as well. It's just like,
with
oh well, yeah. If you're gonna make this scene, if this at this point you're surrendered to this being a really shit film, so you're just like, well, yeah, fuck it, come in anyway. Why not? Just you can't really ruin this film anymore. So, you know,
oh man, yeah, and the thing is as well, he's like, oh yeah, I've given up. You guys can go home. And Will Smith is like, fucking, yeah, man, fuck you. Like, I want to finish this job. And
Yeah.
he walks out, right? But then it's like the writers didn't. And I can't remember which order they go, but I'm pretty sure Rick Flag follows him. But I mean, and also the Australians already left by this point, so I don't know how he'd find out and then come back to them. But like it's like the writers wrote themselves into a corner here, and they're like, oh, okay, we brought them down to their low point, in the classic, hero's journey. What's gonna make them all go out? So, Will Smith, okay, he's dedicated to the job because Rick Flag tells him to fucking finish it so many times. Okay, he leaves. What are we gonna do? There's like five other people in here. Harley is just gonna say, right, guys, I'm gonna leave unless you're pussies, and then they all join.
Yeah.
And then also the Australian, despite leaving, somehow knows about this and joins them anyway.
Yeah, and like Killer Croc's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, well, I don't know. They all just
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah, oh, man.
They literally all just go, yeah, fuck it. Let's go. Let's keep going then.
Yeah, they somehow give Killer Croc something to do in this, which makes no sense anyway, because this
Yeah,
this
man.
boils down to like, yeah, their boss fight, like you say, like you described, which is a good way of putting it. They've got to kill the Enchantress and her brother,
Yeah.
and they also have a bomb underneath, which Killer Croc has to swim and put underneath in the right spot.
Yeah.
This Navy SEALs could have done anyway, but
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah, exactly, exactly, man. Like,
how come they have
well,
such
I
a
mean, the city's clearly abandoned, man. Okay, all right. To be fair, Amanda Waller's there, which is why they can't just nuke the whole thing. But I'm sure they could have done something to just. Well, I guess yeah, Amanda Waller's there. But
yeah.
anyway, yeah, yeah. Basically, they all just show up at this fucking the build the. Well, it's actually a metro station, right? Tube station. So yeah, this is fucking. I don't know if this is good or bad, man, but it's like, basically, they're all there, like behind these pillars, and Enchantress like, "Oh, I can see you. Join me. I know your dreams." And then we get to see some of their
Yeah, and
dreams,
then yeah,
actually.
and then Harley walks out for a second, then they're like, "No, fuck! Why would you walk out? You spastic."
But like, so we get to see some of their dreams, right? So we see Harley's one, which is where you see. Now, this is like really. I really like this actually. It's like it's probably something that pissed a lot of people off, but I think was actually quite a good like little reveal because that's really accurate to Harley Quinn. I think all she's just madly in love with the Joker,
Yes,
and
it's family
ultimately
with
all
him.
she would like is just for him to like have a family with him and like kind of be normal-ish. And that's exactly what we see.
Yeah, you
Actually
get to
see
see
Jared
Jared
Leto
Leto, with no
without
makeup.
makeup in it, well, without Joker makeup, and he's like, with
He's
his
got like
family
the
shit.
full
It's like,
alibi.
oh, this is like really out of the box, and you're like, wow, this is like quite powerful. I'm like, that was quite cool actually. Um, we also see Will Smith's dream.
Yeah, he gets to kill Batman.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember what it was, and then I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, and then
that's it. That's not to have full custody of your daughter or get your criminal record wiped
yeah,
or have
just
a
kill
real,
Batman.
yeah, just I wish I'd killed Batman when I had the chance.
Yeah, I mean,
Although,
you get to see Ben Affleck lying motionless. He kind of looks a bit stupid there, like.
yeah, yeah,
And then you
man,
get, yeah, I just want to like gloss over the other ones because there's like you get Diablo, he's like controlled his temper, so his family is still alive.
that's
And then
nice.
you
Yeah,
get to see
Rick
Rick
Flag, right?
Flank's one as he gets to bang Doctor Moon. But
Yeah,
then yeah, I did
and
like
then
a
that's it. And then they're like, no, don't
yeah
bother with the others.
yeah.
Fuck
So I
them.
wonder what Killer Croc's dream is. His next meal. But then like
Yeah,
I
what
put
about Boomerang's dream, man? I want to know about his hopes and
yeah,
dreams.
his
He's
boomerang
a person as
doesn't
well,
come
man. He's
back
got
after all.
feelings. Yeah, he's just like
Yeah.
fucking his like pink toy, man. I don't know.
I actually ranked these on my notes because I was so bored watching this film. Like,
You rank the
I
dreams.
ranked how unrealistic they are. So number
Oh,
4, like being the most realistic, was Flag and Doctor Moon fucking getting back together.
yeah,
Number 3 is Diablo actually being able to control his temper.
yeah,
Number 2 is Will Smith killing Batman in that fucking stupid hat he's wearing. And
yeah,
number 1 that is unrealistic as fuck is Joker being normal enough to have
yeah,
kids.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's never happening. I'm sorry.
But
Even the
that's why that
Enchantress.
scene's so powerful because it just shows. I think that really adds like a great dimension to Harley Quinn's character, where
It's kind
it
of
just
sad
shows
almost.
how tragic she is as a character because her dream is just something that is impossible to
Yeah,
happen
it'll
because of
never
how
happen. Yeah.
insane the Joker is, but she can't help it because that's love. So it's actually quite a powerful like moment actually, and like quite very meaningful. Is definitely one of the highlights of the film.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
again,
it's
yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, well, we're only going to show four of them anyway, so like, fuck the rest. What about
Yeah, and then
Sada's
like
dream, man?
yeah, and then Rick Flag like Harley wants to go, and then Rick Flag's like, no, she's tricking us, so on and so forth. But one thing I found really weird in this is um like her brother's been standing behind a pillar this whole time supposedly,
Yeah,
and he does like this really awkward walk out. He's just like, yeah, hi guys, I forgot I was in this
yeah,
film. And it's like what? It's like when they're like a talk show introduces a guest who's coming on stage, you know?
yeah, man.
Like
It's so bad. And this is where you get El Diablo. He goes, yeah, man, the cringiest line ever, man. Well, maybe not in this film, but it's
yeah,
right
because
up
they
there. He
can't
goes,
kill him and
ah,
they
I
try.
lost one family. I ain't gonna lose another one. It's like, oh,
It's not funny.
wow, man. Oh, you know these fucking super criminals for all about 3 hours and they're your family now, man. It's
Yeah,
like so
exactly.
cringe.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, what was it as well? Like what they've got to do is like he's got to like push this guy
yeah,
into certain spots so they can
yeah, yeah,
blow him up with that bomb.
yeah,
Also, the Enchantress and her brother, they do not define anything about them. It's so vague.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, yeah. You
oh,
don't
it
really
takes
know
this.
what they can
Yeah.
do, what they
What their
can't.
weaknesses are, like, oh, apparently
Yeah,
all it takes to kill like a super deity is a bomb.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Exactly, an explosion. Yeah, right. And it's just like a really shit fight as well. It's just
Yeah,
like El
what's the
Diablo
Enchantress doing the
transforms
whole time?
into
Oh yeah,
like some
she's
fire, some pillar of fire. I don't know.
oh
It's
yeah,
just
yeah. The Enchantress is just like chilling with her spells for
yeah, yeah. She's just like,
because
oh, I'm vibing here. Yeah,
the
like
reason this is kind of funny actually because Rick Flag says basically the reason why she's able to destroy well, what's happening is she's destroying
yeah,
like all these like secret US military bases
yeah,
around the world and shit. And the funny thing is like Rick Flag's like, oh, she's destroying the world because she's doing this because she's linked up to Amanda's brain who
yeah,
knows all these
yeah.
places. And
Yeah,
it's like
you just cut away to like Amanda Wallace like
floating, yeah.
floating upside down there, whatever, like having her brain fucking like something
Yeah.
out of the
And just
Riddler in Batman Forever, man.
yeah, and I was just thinking to myself, like, it's kind of funny because, like, she's like, oh, she's destroying the world. I'm like, yeah, she's probably doing the world a favor destroying US
Oh
military
yeah, for
bases.
sure, man. Get Guantanamo Bay down and all that shit, Area
So,
51.
like, yeah, blow up Congress just, like, just before, Superman does it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
So
Um,
they just, like, lay the last brick down, and then it gets destroyed again. Oh, no,
but
this happens before Batman v Superman.
no, this happens after.
Pretty sure this happens beforehand. Like, it's meant to be
No,
7
it's
years.
after. It's after because at the beginning, Amanda Waller goes, oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
uh,
you're right, you're right.
yeah,
Well, yeah, okay, in that case, they've just fixed it. Anyway.
yeah,
I wish,
bang,
yeah,
blow it up
for a
again.
film like this, they might as well have just done that scene. But
But the problem with that like showing is just it just asked me it begs the question because this and specifically because this happens after Batman versus Superman, you know, this like super entity like witch doctor whatever fucking paranormal
Enchantress,
shit.
yeah.
She's like destroying these like locations in the world. So
Why
where's
does
the
no one shoot
Justice League
her?
at this point? Where's Wonder Woman? Where's like Batman or the Flash or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're on break. Oh no, they're all too busy looking through like Justice League like emails and shit, like being like,
Yeah, man.
right
They're on
guys, we're planning
they're
for
on
the
the
next film.
Discord chat, whatever, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly. And this is the thing as well. She's stood there like basically Diablo's like soloing like her brother. Why aren't they just shooting the Enchantress at this point when they have a good chance?
Yeah, man. It's just like this is just it's just terrible, man. I mean, what can you say? It's just a good climax.
Yeah, we
It's a
need to.
fitting
Yeah,
climax for this film, where it's just
we
like
we really need
random
to come up with
shit.
a term for like that thing where like the fights don't work logically, in which someone's just stood there while they could easily be killed.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, like statue.
Oh yeah. So then you've got oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Diablo gets blown up along with him.
Yeah, Diablo gets blown up, but
Just do it.
they say like, "Oh yeah, yeah." This is like again just so terrible because there's like a bit where like her heart gets cut out or ripped out, right, Enchantress, and like we see that happen, and then the next thing you see is like Rick Flag turning his dead shot, going, "Her heart's out." No shit, we
Yeah,
just saw
thanks for
that.
telling us.
That's the yeah, like oh okay, just in case we missed that. Thanks,
Also,
just narrate the
she's
film
like
for us. Why don't you?
she's destroying the world at this point with like super lasers from space or whatever, like fucking Diamonds Are Forever style.
Yeah, it's
But
like I'm
then
saying, oh Henry, we're recording a podcast.
really,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then like she, but I don't know how understand how like I mean, obviously, this is the fucking stupid film logic, how she doesn't kill every single person there, but like,
Yeah, because she's I don't know. It's like really confusing. So her heart's out.
yeah, because yeah,
Harley
Harley,
Quinn cuts it with the katana sword,
yeah, but this
right?
thing I don't understand that makes no fucking sense, right?
Yeah.
So the Enchantress, with her dreams that she shows them, obviously what they want, that implies she's telepathic and knows deeply like what they want.
Hmm.
Surely she'd be able to read Harley's mind and think, "Oh, this
Oh
person's
yeah,
about
you're
to try
right.
and stab me."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And she has a
Yeah,
terrible line as well. Harley Quinn has another terrible line where she's like, yeah, it sounds good, but um you fucked up my friends or some shit like that. I don't know.
yeah, some cringe line,
Something
man.
terrible, man. I don't think I didn't even write it down. It's just
Oh,
um
yeah, as
and
well.
then
Like,
and
yeah, they
then
have
we
the
have like,
slow-mo
oh,
shot.
we need a group takedown, just like in Justice League. Sorry, in
Yeah, but
Batman vs Superman. So let's have one of them throwing a bomb while Deadshot shoots it midair, and like,
yeah,
oh,
that
and
it's
he's
all in
and he's like,
slow-mo as well. It's so
yeah, and he's like remembering his daughter as well and shit. He's like,
like, don't
oh,
shoot her, and it's
I
like,
mean that's
oh,
cool
fuck
because
it, of
that's
course it
obviously a
is.
thought sent into him by Enchantress, but still, it's just like.
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary, man. I just wish they like cast anyone but Will Smith for this because it would just also at least just an unknown actor just make Deadshot of the same importance as like Captain Boomerang, for example, just so he's not invading the scene so much because it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's
Like,
just trying to give him this like whole daughter thing dimension which no one cares about, doesn't fit with the film.
yeah,
Just
can
there
we bring
because
back his
you
uncle
got
from
Will
like
Smith when you
fucking
didn't expect to, so now you have to write a character for him.
yeah,
Bad.
they should just like they should have just fucking brought back his uncle from Fresh Prince of Bel Air for this,
Yeah, man.
I don't know, but like also, so like I mean this has no impact basically because they down the witch and then we don't know if we kill her we might kill Rick Flag's love interest, guys.
Yeah.
And then it's this fucking thing that happens like multiple times in this film where someone who speaks a foreign language suddenly speaks English, where she's like talking to him in English, like because
Yeah.
Katana Girl does it earlier as well. Um,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, so what? Well, now you don't use
It's
subtitles.
so funny like what she says as well because he's like he has this choice to like he has to like yeah do it but risk killing his lover as well, and then she literally just goes, you don't have the balls. It's like but she says it like Siri, like it
Yeah,
doesn't even
exactly.
sound
You
coherent.
don't have the balls
And it's
to
so
kill.
funny. It's just like standing there like oh okay, you
Yeah,
don't
and then
have
he
the balls.
does he does anyway.
He
Okay.
does, yeah. He finally shows like his like some kind of credentials,
Yeah,
man.
he
Like,
has
oh,
like
just
somewhat
reminds
a
us, yeah,
social
you're
life.
actually capable of something, like. So yeah, good for him. Good on you, Rick Flag. Um,
Yeah.
got the shittest like most basic name as well, by the way, Rick
Yeah, exactly.
Flag.
I think it's done on purpose. I don't know because it's like meant to. I think this is meant to be partially taking the piss out of like American patriotism that apparently they do better in the Suicide Squad. But
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, now you've pitched me the Suicide Squad. Now I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, exactly.
Good
I
on you,
hope
mate.
so as well. But like I don't know, man. And then like after you think like literally, I don't think anyone in the audience gave a shit whether or not Doctor Moon was alive or not. But then like for 20 seconds, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sad, she's dead." And then like she's like fucking digs herself out the corpse. I'm
Yeah,
not dead, guys. Covered in
yeah,
mud or whatever, but
yeah, yeah. Um,
I mean,
and then
also,
this is cool though. It's just like bang, because they're all like, okay, this fucking film's over now. We've done what we need to do. And then Amanda Waller steps out, man,
yeah,
and
she's
he's like,
not dead, but I don't care.
and this might be Will Smith's best line, even though he does it in Will Smith style. It's still like, how are you not dead? It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Amanda Waller is
like if it was,
fucking so good, man. You can't kill her, man. She's
yeah,
like, she's the
exactly.
devil, man. But she just steps out. And she's like, yeah, you're going out to prison, man.
Yeah, you get 10 years off your sentences.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like, she shows a little bit of humanity as well, where she's like, oh, what requests have you got then? And I kind of believe it, because
Yeah, she
normally
doesn't
normally I
let
would
them
go,
go.
okay, that's not believable. It's like she's breaking character, but actually, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, she had, she's like, all right, and gets
Yeah.
them like a coffee machine and shit.
Yeah, and I also wrote down my notes here that I kind of had a laugh at. It's just like I put like pluses and minuses next to stuff I like and don't like. It's just minus.
Okay.
Amanda doesn't kill Captain Boomerang. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
just wish she just killed him anyway.
And it's funny you said it's funny you said it because the way I write my notes, I put a little dash between each point that I want to make, and then like the dash represents like a minus, so it's like everything here is shit.
There's
According
so
to
many
your code.
minuses except if it's something Amanda wrote.
Um. Anyway, so then we're basically coming to the end of the
You
film.
can
Will
hear
Smith
Bohemian
is
Rhapsody.
helping
Fuck's
his
sake.
daughter with his homework, and like it becomes like a whole sniper fucking analogy and shit, man. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, do the hypotenuse, you can blow this guy's brains out, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and it will splatter his brains on this wall in this trajectory, and you'll get this splatter pattern here, and yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
calculate
love
surface
you.
area of the blood, you know.
Yeah. So they're all back in fucking jail, and you're like, okay, all right, it's over, and then
But they're
you
playing
get a
back
cool ending
conspiracy as
because you
well.
get the joke of breaking Harley Quinn out. You're like, oh shit, and this is really good because I'm like that did throw me off. I'm like, oh okay, that was cool.
Yeah, the
Um,
funny thing is I paid so little attention to this film the first time that I didn't know that I thought Joker might have actually died, but then they show that he's there in this.
that was
He
really
like he
cool.
pulls out the mask. I mean, out of all the Jokers, this one's probably the most. I mean, the ones up to this point, he's the most believable who could actually be in this sort of like SWAT uniform breaking in himself as well. I think.
That's true. Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, but
Um,
I just this is
but
one
this
of
is
those
the
things.
thing
It's
that
like I
that
wish we
makes him
saw a
in
bit more of him.
thing.
Like,
Yeah, the thing is that makes him like this makes him quite like this does the opposite effect of making him look insane, right? Or even before that, he doesn't care about Harley Quinn because clearly he does, and he does like quite a normal thing to do. Breaks into a prison to break her out, and like takes off his helmet, and that's like every antagonist ever. Like it's like the most protagonist ever. It's like the most basic kind of you know, and that kind
but
of like cheapens his. It's cool because it's like, oh shit, the Joker's there. He's alive and stuff. But when you actually like take a step back, you're like, it's not really like a very Joker thing to do.
I mean,
No other Joker would do that.
can we
You
also
know?
talk briefly about his there's something I just remembered that his like goons all wear like funny costumes. Like one of them's in like a
Oh
parrot,
yeah, panda suit. Yeah,
one's
yeah,
as a Batman, you know, and so on and so forth. Like
yeah.
I just
That's
forgot
cool.
to mention it. I thought it was really it was kind of dumb, but for this film, I guess you know
Nah, I thought that was pretty cool.
it's funny that one's dressed up as Batman. I will say, but
Yeah, and that's basically the end of the film.
until you get to the post credits.
Until now, I want to tell you something before we get into this post-credit scene, which is the first post-credit scene we've ever had so far
Yeah,
in a
in
Batman
the
film.
attempt to be like Marvel, they've started
Yeah,
doing that.
exactly. Um,
I
the
hate
first time I watched this film, I was so done with it by the end. I immediately turned off the TV as soon as the credits started rolling. So I
yeah,
completely missed the post-credit scene the first time I watched it. And then
yeah.
like I was reading something about it, and then I was like, wait, what Wall and Bruce Wayne scene? What the fuck? And so I had to go back and
Yeah, the
watch the
fact that
end again.
she's in the same room as him, it's like this is like you know,
But can you believe that? This is why I asked you. I texted you last night or a couple of nights ago where I was like, by the way, did you watch the post credit scene? Because when I watched this film, I was so done with it. I didn't want to watch another
that was the
second,
same. That was
let
the
alone
same with
listen
me
to another
actually.
licensed song. So I was like, fuck off, I'm done with this film finally. And
I'm
then it's
done
like,
with
oh,
songs.
by the way, there's actually something you totally missed out here, which is
It was so
great
fun.
post credit scene, man.
It's like you know, it's like when they give you fucking morphine for like a you know, for like a really painful you know surgery. This is like you know just what you needed by the end of it.
This was fucking sick, man. This is one of my favorite post-credit scenes ever, man. And it's like, oh, it's so good. So you have,
Just setting up Justice League basically.
it's so good, man. You've got like probably the two best characters in this whole DCEU. I think that wouldn't be an understatement.
Yeah, so
From
far I can
everyone
say
we've met so far, my favorite characters and actors are Viola Davis, Amanda Waller, and fucking Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne. Specifically Bruce Wayne, not so much Batman, but it's Bruce Wayne. You have
yeah.
both of them like facing each other across a table, and it's so fucking good. This dialogue, this is like they finally. This is like the only part they bothered writing. They must have like brought in a writer last minute, an actual
Yeah,
writer. It's
exactly.
like
Like, oh shit, we need to actually. This is for Justice League. We're spending $300 million on this film. We can't
so
fuck up
good,
the
man.
intro.
I like get goosebumps when I think of like Batman. Bruce Wayne turns around at the end and he says in a Batman voice, he's like, you got to shut this down, or me and my friends will do it for you." And you're like, "Oh, it's so fucking good, man! It's so fucking good."
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
this is Amanda says a line in here which I think is like a good. This is like this is the proper candidate for like the Sigma moment where she says, "You believe in friendship. This is the difference between you and me. You believe in friendship. I believe in leverage."
Yeah, man. And
Like,
she's like, "Oh, you should stop working nights or something. You look tired or something like that, you know." And it's like, yeah, yeah. He's like, "Yeah, I just want to. I like making friends, or whatever." Oh, mate, this scene is the best of this film
I'm
by a
glad they put it at
long
the end.
fucking shot.
Like, put a smile on my face.
Yeah, man. I was just like, oh, that was so good. Now, you know what? Having thought about everything I just said, like with the cinema, I didn't see this film in cinema. I don't know why I missed out on that. I'm glad I didn't contribute financially to
I
this
know all my mates
shit
saw it in
show.
cinema, and I was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't for some reason. I'm glad I didn't. But then again, imagine being in the cinema watching that. And you're just like, oh, but you know what? I think I would have left the cinema before I got
I
the.
think I would have as well.
Yeah, because I mean, literally, and I sat with my TV and just bang, hit the remote, fuck off, like
Yeah,
let me do
yeah, because
something
like
else.
with this, when it came to like the credits, I was like skipping through to see the post-credit scene.
Oh, really? I was just like, yeah, and now I'm thinking to myself, if I saw this in the cinema, would I have would the post credits have lasted long enough for me to have got up and left my seat and exited the cinema before that would have popped up? I'd have been like opening the door then. Oh shit,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fine.
Like Amanda's runs back.
Yeah. And if I had seen that, then I'd be leaving the cinema like, yeah, I'm so hyped for Justice League, man. Which again, all came crashing down, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah,
that's the Suicide Squad. My mistake. That was Suicide Squad.
not the Suicide Squad.
No, not the
I
Suicide Squad.
mean, yeah. Well, this is the normally we do some rankings of this, but first I would like to do a little quiz with you, James. This is
Do it.
like I said prior. I have 7 bits of well, kind of facts slash trivia about Jared Leto's Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker, but you've got to guess which one is from who. All right.
Okay.
So
Ledger or Leto?
yeah, Ledger or Leto. So this Joker was the youngest Joker cast.
Oh, I would say Heath Ledger is the younger one.
You're right, because he was 28 when he was cast, and Jared Leto was in his 40s. Because
Yeah,
Jared
this is the
Leto is
thing.
surprisingly older. I didn't know he was 50.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is the thing. He's been in. This is the thing. He looks so young, and he's like, I don't know what he does to achieve that. I mean, I'm just going to leave that there. But like the fact that he's like, yeah, like I said before, he's just been around the block, man. He's been in cinema for like, like I said, he was in Requiem of a Dream, man. That's like 20 years old, that film. So,
Yeah.
and he just hasn't aged. So yeah. And Heath Ledger, I remember him being young, for the Dark Knight. So yeah, okay,
Okay.
1 out of 7.
This one
Good stuff.
in preparation for the Joker, they visited people from psych wards to understand the process of insanity.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, getting good with this. Right. They shaved their whole body minus their head for this.
Yeah, Jared Leto.
And it's really hard to find stuff which is really tell with.
Go on.
Because everyone knows Heath Ledger trivia, man. Um, they this is a quote from one of them. Pretty sure it's from an interview saying, "From the Joker's point of view, Batman isn't really scary. He's more of a friend to the Joker."
Mm, I don't know. Heath Ledger.
No, that was Jared Leto.
Ah, yeah. I fumbled that one, man, because Heath Ledger didn't get the chance to do any interviews, unfortunately, for like
Yeah.
really. So
Okay.
okay,
They actually didn't rehearse prior to their scenes.
Heath Ledger.
No, that was Jared Leto.
He didn't rehearse. That's cool, actually.
Yeah, it was.
That's
I think
that's
it was
definitely cool. Okay,
that
that's
was
good.
done in order to, well, I think this was either specifically with Harley Quinn, but obviously couldn't mention that part. Um,
Yeah.
because it was like to add to sort of their unpredictability or something. Um,
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I don't know if it works, but that's cool.
okay. They practiced their voice with ventriloquist dummies.
Jared Leto.
No, that was Heath Ledger.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh, is that it? Or is there one more?
There's one more.
Okay,
Which
here we
one of
go.
these Jokers do you think rode a skateboard around set?
I guess. I don't know, man. Shit. I'm gonna go with Jared Leto for that one.
No, that was Heath Ledger.
Oh fuck, man.
Oh man, I'm glad I actually managed to. I basically won this because I managed to trick you 4 times. You got three.
Oh no. I got the first three right, didn't I?
Yeah, you got the first. You got Ledger was the youngest Joker cast. You got the fact that Jared Leto shaved his whole body minus
Yeah.
his head, and you also got that Jared Leto visited people from psych wards. The rest he didn't.
Wait, that means he shaved his eyebrows as well.
Yeah, he did.
Shit. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just as a bonus bit of trivia as well, Jared
Nice.
Leto during stunt performing for this, he tore like his labrum, which is like I think it's a like bit of cartilage in your shoulder, which
Oh,
must have been painful, but
okay.
probably didn't get to see that scene. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
shit. That's yeah. Complete waste. Yeah. Unfortunately. Wow. That was cool. I was like, yeah, this is easy, man. Like, come on, Henry. Oh, good one. Shit. Well, there you go.
Anyway, on to the
Okay. Well, now we're going to rank the Jokers.
or do we want to
So,
say? Oh, actually, there isn't anything else to rank really.
yeah, well, we're just going to rank this, the Sigma moment, and the film itself. So number one, we have current rankings: Jack Nicholson's Joker. Number two, Heath Ledger's Joker. Number three, Cesar Romero. So where are we going to put Jared Leto?
Well, I think it's pretty. I think everyone knows by now. Like, we're not going to put him above Heath Ledger or Jack Nicholson,
Hmm.
obviously.
Yeah,
But um, in if we're talking about this film's performance specifically,
yeah,
I mean, not just his perform. I mean, this is what we saw. Like, yeah, I know his stuff got cut out and so on, but what we get to see with the Joker, would you? I'm asking you actually, really, would you put him above Cesar Romero? Because
yeah.
as much as we like 66 Batman, like I
No,
can't.
no, no. It's a valid question because I mean, even the image I chose here for Jared Leto's Joker is from Justice League, which does so much to improve and flesh out his character and redeem that character quite a lot. So without that, all you would have to go on is what we've just seen in Suicide Squad, and on that basis,
If we're going just from Suicide Squad though,
mm,
because
no,
we
no, no.
can push.
I would still put him. I would still put him over Cesar Romero just because I respect Jared Leto as an actor and I respect the preparation he put into this. And it's not his fault
Yeah, at least he
that it's so
shaved for
shit.
this instead of fucking Cesar Romero, man, not shaving his mustache.
Yeah, yeah, true. I'm. Yeah, isn't that ironic? Like Cesar Romero refused to shave his mustache, and like Jared Leto shaved everything, including his eyebrows. Man, just on that level of dedication, man, you got to put Jared Leto. That. And I just to talk about Jared Leto a bit more. And the fact he was given a raw deal. Yeah, he filmed a lot more scenes. And I think what people have to remember is obviously the iconic Jokers and probably what will end up being our top three is Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, and Joaquin Phoenix. But those three had the luxury of an entire film dedicated to their Joker performance and their character development, etc. Their films were literally Joker films, effectively, right?
Yeah,
And Jared Leto obviously didn't have that luxury. He just had to, work with what he had and just fit in where he could. And he had a lot of bad things, that he was forced to unfortunately work with: bad writing, bad editing, bad ensemble of
yeah,
like
bad
cast.
soundtrack.
Director not the best. David. I'm sorry, man. Like it's just and on top of that, all the hangovers and symptoms of the Snyderverse, where it's just so the DCEU, I should say, where it's just so many like things got fumbled basically by Warner Brothers, etc. And Jared Leto is arguably kind of the biggest loser out of anyone that's been involved with this entire franchise. Not franchise, I mean not the whole Batman films, but I mean just the DCEU, because his reputation, I think, really got damaged because of this film, and that's not his fault, really. He put in as much effort as anyone into his Joker, and okay, his Joker's not the best, sure. And do I want to see a whole film of Jared Leto's Joker? not particularly. But it's worth bearing that in mind, giving him that context and him that benefit of the doubt that he just wasn't afforded as much of a chance as the others.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
And
We
sorry, also what I would follow up with that is the fact that he had the poison chalice of following up from Heath Ledger's Joker.
yeah, true.
That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
at least he didn't kill
Like
himself. Like,
anyone. I don't think whoever it was that was following up from Heath Ledger's Joker already had a target on his back from Heath Ledger fans, who's like 99% of the population, right?
yeah,
So
exactly. I mean,
you
I
know,
already have a target on my back, and so did we because of what we said about him.
yeah, I don't care who you are, what your name is, but I think whoever's following up from Heath Ledger's Joker was always going to have a lot of criticism coming his way. So that's the only other point I would make in terms of when I think about Jared Leto's Joker. I respect him. I respect what he's achieved and what he was trying to do. His portrayal as the Joker isn't bad. Um, and the bad things about it are out of his control effectively. So
Hmm.
that's what I would say.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It was a huge mix, man. Like, I kind of feel bad for him. And really wished we got to see more.
Mm.
Like that may have redeemed him or may have solidified whether or not he was good or bad because his total screen time as Joker probably totals as 15 minutes in the entirety of everything. If you think about it,
Yeah, yeah,
like what like that's not uh,
yeah. It's unfortunate.
and the fact that you had to share it with like so many clowns as well.
Yeah,
I
good one.
mean, yeah, ironic how Joker's not the clown in this situation, but
Yeah, yeah. It's true.
this
Um,
also this film I want to add as well that I didn't realize until we saw it actually broke the previous record for how many villains are on a Batman sort of
oh,
related
really?
because obviously the first one was the 66 Batman with four
Yeah.
different villains, that was their big point, got four people who can take over the world, but uh,
Wait, so was before this film was Batman 66 the one with the most Batman villains?
yeah, because well,
Sure.
I don't think it was necessarily like in this one. I don't know how many of these are actually Batman villains, but it's
Well,
more.
I'm sure. No, no, no. What I'm questioning was that Batman 66 was the film with the most Batman villains because
Yeah, I think it was.
well, that's what I'm questioning is a fact because I think the Dark Knight Rises might have had more because in that one
Yeah, it
you had
depends how you count them though, because Catwoman's
yeah.
on his side, kind of.
Sorry.
Scarecrow is not really Scarecrow. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's still there. So you have. I mean, but I'm not just thinking that. So off the top of my head, Catwoman,
Bane, obviously.
Bane,
Daggett?
Ra's al Ghul technically makes an
Yeah,
appearance.
well, I don't know, really.
Talia al
That's
Ghul,
stretching
hang
it.
on, Scarecrow, and Daggett. So
Yeah, but Scarecrow, Catwoman, I don't know. I don't know if you can really count them as like being much in
I
this.
don't know. I'm splitting hairs here, but I'm just saying, that's if we're going by like just appearances, I think, and they all have lines, right? So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
technically, yeah, But anyway,
yeah. I
obviously,
mean,
Suicide Squad is the proud breaker of that record. Um, We're gonna do the most Sigma line, and then we're gonna rank the film. And we have a little like thing we need to do a bit of admin for this. But first, let's do the most Sigma moment. So
yeah. So the current ranking, as I understand it, is from the bottom to the top. We've got in Batman Forever when Val Kilmer says "women" after a conversation with
yeah,
Doctor Meridian Chase. Um, in Batman and Robin, we have Mr. Freeze saying, "My passion's lost for my bride, the lawn," and pushing away like that thought who's trying to
yeah,
get with
yeah,
him.
yeah.
In Batman 66, we've got Bruce Wayne
Oh
saying
yeah,
explain to
capitalist. Yeah,
Kicker, yeah, I'm a capitalist, I've got all these gadgets on me.
yeah,
That's why, because I'm rich.
yeah.
Um, we've got from Catwoman her like slagging off her boss to his face. This
Oh yeah,
first Sigma female moment.
yeah.
Um, and then after that, we've got from Batman Returns, saying
That's
Max
Shrek.
Schreck saying to Catwoman before pushing her out the window, saying, "Actually, it very much is like that.
Yeah,
I can just kill you."
yeah.
Um, we've got above that in fourth place, Batman '89. Jack Napier before he becomes Joker saying, "I didn't ask," to a woman who's like fawning over him, saying, "You
Shit,
look
that's in
good."
fourth place.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
then
but then again, yeah, then we'll hit the top
yeah,
three.
then we've got, uh, Christian Bale in The Dark Knight saying, "Oh well, they should let us put tables together. I own this hotel," just to
Yep,
flex on Harvey Dent.
yep,
Then in second place we've got from Batman versus Superman. Oh, like belittling Clark Kent saying, "Oh, is that Daily Planet? Do I own that one, or is that the
yep,
other guy?" And
yep,
then in the top place we've got
yeah.
obviously from
I'm
Batman
buying this
Begins.
hotel.
I'm buying this hotel and I'm changing some rules about the pool area.
Yeah.
Jumping in.
Oh, so good.
If
But
you
I
haven't
will,
seen,
I
if
will
you
add,
haven't
we
seen
don't
the
have, we still
short,
need to,
see it.
we fucking haven't done one for the Dark Knight Rises.
I know I pointed that out before, but I don't think I genuinely couldn't
Doesn't
pull
matter. We have to have one. We got one out of Catwoman for fuck's sake. We must be able to get
it.
one out.
That's true. But this is the thing, I couldn't think of one. Do you have one?
Probably the one that leads to mind for me is Bane when he puts the hand on the shoulder and he's like, "Do you feel in control?" That's like I thought that was quite a Sigma move, man. To be honest.
All right. Well, this is canonically where we rank the Dark Knight Rises Sigma quote in
Yeah,
series.
sorry, viewers.
Where would
Probably either fifth or sixth. So
you're
I'm
not putting it
thinking
below
it's either
Catwoman?
going below Jack Nicholson or it's going below
It's
Christopher
going
Walken.
below. It's going. Well, if you put it, there's okay. So it goes buying the hotel, Daily Planet. I
Yep,
own the hotel. Didn't ask, and it very much is like that. Then
yep,
Catwoman.
yep.
Where would you put
I
it?
would put him either fifth or sixth. I would either put him below Didn't Ask or It Is Like That.
Yeah, because I don't think. Yeah, because I don't think that's like Bane's one is specifically very Sigma in that he's like, oh, yeah. Do you feel like safe basically, or do you feel in control? Whereas like Max Shrek is just flexing the fact that he can just straight up murder people with no consequences to it.
You feel in control.
Like, actually, it very
Mm,
much is like that. Just casually murders someone.
Nah, but I love the power because it's such a power move. Because this Daggett guy, he's like this billionaire and shit. He does. He's like, yeah, you're all my bitches. Like you do whatever I say. And then all he needs to do, he just puts the hand on the shoulder,
Yeah,
like,
to be fair, that was cooler, I
oh,
think.
but he doesn't like put it on like father and son. So he like
Like the
the
bat,
he
like
puts it like this, like on the shoulder, like, and like Daggett just freezes, man, and it's just the power shifters and the way it's shot, like how Bane is just towering over him, and it's just like and then kills him as well.
yeah. Oh, all right, I'll give that to Bane then. We'll put it above yeah, we'll put it in fifth place above Max Shrek,
Yeah.
but below
Okay.
Jack
Okay. And
Nicholson.
can I just say, by the way, that collection of names we've just said: Christopher Walken, Tom Hardy, Jack Nicholson, like three of the best
Yeah,
actors of
and
all
Ben
time.
Affleck above that, and Christian
Well,
Bale above
I
that.
don't think Ben Affleck's. He's a great actor, but he's not quite on that tier
Yeah,
of
true. All right,
goats, man.
so in
Okay.
this, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
the only Sigma quotes come from Amanda Waller. I don't know if you
Yeah. We have another Sigma female entry,
Sigma
man.
female moment. So we've got I my only two.
Although,
Yeah.
although the final line in this film, Ben Affleck's one is like also quite a Sigma. Like, shut this down on me and my friends will do it for you.
Nah, that's not as cool as what she says. Because like,
Yeah. True. True.
there's two candidates that I had for like the
Hmm.
Sigma moment. I think the first one we're gonna strike out is where Harley says, "Are you the devil?" and she just like gives it a pause and says, "Maybe." But the one below is like the one below is cooler. I think like I think one of her last lines where she says, "This is the difference between you and me. You believe in friendship. I believe in leverage."
Yeah, you're right.
That
Okay.
is like that is proper like manipulative man, which is like
Okay.
hallmark Sigma trait.
By the way, I should explain to the audience that we have this the tier maker with the images. The reason I don't have one for Sigma males, Sigma quotes, is
You
because
can't
it's
get
quite hard to do
arbitrary.
because we choose them on the spot, right? So like I can't go ahead and like predict an image that we'll get. Plus, I'd have to do a frame from film. So this is why it's like off the cuff kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all tongue in cheek anyway, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So
uh,
where would you rank this on this? Because I would I would
I think
definitely
again
at
it would
least
be
put
in
this
that kind of area, fourth, fifth, sixth.
I would definitely at least put this above Baines and below.
Yeah, yeah. I think okay.
Okay.
So Bane already gets moved down. Okay, so I think fifth,
Yeah, because I don't
so
think
above
it's
Bane
not.
and below Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, because Jack Nicholson just saying "I didn't ask" is just such a good line.
Oh, it's so
You
simple.
want just
That's what's great about it.
yeah. I
And
think
I think that is where that's in. I've got like an imaginary dotted line where that's like the top tier, like true Sigma moments. The ones below it are kind of like what the best of like what we can pick out from there. But those
Yeah,
are like
true.
deliberately Sigma, you know. So
Yeah,
okay,
I fully agree with you on that.
all right, cool, 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 cool. All right, so now, ladies
There's
and
no
gentlemen,
Batman theme to rank.
no. So now we're going to rank the films themselves.
Yeah.
Now we're going to adjust the way we rank them, and I'm going to explain this in a video probably later in the week. But for now, we need to do a little bit of retcon because now we're going to rank the films instead of giving them a grade out of 10.
We're
We're going
doing
to
them
give
against
them
each other.
either like basically an official millionth recommend, don't recommend, or like
That
you must
yeah.
watch this now. Or like really like a top tier goat film. So
Yeah, exactly. But then yeah, they're against each other still. So the further
and
they
you
are
and
to the
me, we're gonna
left,
have to agree, but we're gonna have our own opinions. I think, especially in terms of like what's a goat film and what's not. I think me myself, I'm gonna be very reserved when it comes to giving a film like
the goated
that
tier,
kind of
yeah.
status. But you know, we're gonna see. So let's do them in chronological order. So
Yeah.
Batman
Also,
'66.
yeah, also one thing, people probably know this with tier maker, but the further they are to the left,
Oh yeah,
and then the better they are. Whereas if the further they
yeah,
are on the right down the list, yeah.
yeah.
Um, this is, I mean, the Batman '66, I think, is like it's a film that well, you don't have to watch, but it's like one film that you should at least watch once. I think
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not
It's
bad.
like yeah, fuck it,
It's the
just watch it
beginning,
like
it's for history lessons,
on a rainy Sunday. Why not? You know. Batman '89.
I mean, yeah, I'd say you have to watch this for the specifically because of Jack Nicholson's performance because it's so good. Like, but the rest of the film itself, I feel, is weaker, personally speaking, because any time he's not on screen, I'm a little slightly zoned out, to be honest.
This is like of all the films here, this is the one I'd be closest tempting to giving that like goat status of like double thumbs up because it is such an iconic performance from Jack Nicholson. That's the thing. But then if I'm putting that there, I'm gonna have to put a bunch of others up there, and that
Yeah, a lot of them
immediately
up there.
weakens my. So okay, I'm just gonna put it at the
Put
very
it at the very.
highest.
You should put it at the very top of it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Of
you
like,
have to see that
we
film at least
recommend this
once.
film.
Like,
Definitely, definitely a recommend.
okay, what came after
What was
Batman
next? Batman
Returns?
Returns. Again, I think that yeah, well, it slots into middle. Now these are going to end up like in their order. Okay, the only debates now are like you know because we've already ranked them, but we're not doing those rankings.
Yeah,
And like I said, I'll
Batman
explain why.
Forever.
Batman
You
Forever.
should not.
Oh,
You should
okay.
not.
Now Batman Forever is that a film that we'd recommend or that
No,
we just like don't bother?
no. Fuck Batman Forever, man.
Okay.
Batman Forever is the beginning of.
The only defense I get, I always think, is like Jim Carrey's Riddler. But
I
man,
still think
I
it's
lived
bad.
23 years of my life without watching that happily. So fuck it. Just watch some YouTube clips.
Yeah,
That's
man. You've got fucking
Batman and
like
Robin,
Robin as well in that.
Catwoman.
Batman and Robin is worse than Catwoman easily.
Hmm.
Like Catwoman and Batman and Robin,
Oh yeah, it's like eight
avoid
and
those
ten
at
to
all
man. You know, it's
costs.
like
You can watch Batman Forever if you like enjoy pain, but the other two are just too bad to
yeah. Then Batman
Batman
Begins.
Begins.
We put here, right?
Yeah, it's something that you should at least watch once, but it's probably not something that you can rewatch many times because it's an intro story really.
Yeah.
It's very good, but
Okay. Now this is one, The Dark Knight.
I think it does belong in like goated status, like double thumbs up easily because come on, this is currently the highest ranked one on our list. You know,
I know it is, but
I know a lot. I know in some ways it's like overhyped as like the
it's
second best film of
overrated.
all
That's the
time.
thing. I just feel it is overrated, and it's a film that like yeah you should see. But I don't think it's like yeah we recommend it, but like who
It's
does?
not overrated enough to not warrant it being a really fantastic
Everyone's seen
film.
it, so it's like you know us recommending it means nothing. So I mean,
Still put it up there. Yeah, still do it.
so you'd give it a double thumbs up.
I give it a
I
double thumbs up.
I
Everyone on
would.
planet Earth would. Is it, you just don't want to put it above Batman '89 again because
No, 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 no. Well, I already have. I'm not surrendering to that. I'm actually thinking more ahead to when we rank the Batman.
yeah, well we'll get to that when it comes to it.
Yeah. But I'm thinking tactically as well. So
Double thumbs up, man. You have to. It's The Dark Knight.
Fuck. All right.
This is like
Um,
they have to make a disclaimer every single time. We don't hate The Dark Knight. We don't hate fucking
Speak for yourself, man.
you know. Well, I
I'm
don't. I
joking. I'm
don't
joking. I'm
dislike
joking. Yeah, I don't
the
hate
Joker, but you know.
the Dark Knight either. I just like I don't. I'm not just not on the hype train with it.
Yeah,
So
it's one of those films that I can't really rewatch because it's like
yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, the Dark Knight Rises. Where did we rank that? I think we put it like above
we ranked
Batman
it as
89,
second
didn't we?
best. I
Sorry.
think no, we put it above Batman '89. We
Why?
did. I remember
Trying to
because
remember
it's just
why.
so good.
We were like
It's
sleep deprived when we did it, man.
it's the Batman. Yeah, true. We were sleep deprived and we watched The Shining afterwards. But the um the Dark Knight Rises for me is like you can watch. It's the most watchable Batman film,
So
maybe.
far.
Yeah, so far.
That's true, you know.
It's so watchable, man. You
That's
can sit
true.
down. It's like I wouldn't say
But
it's the
why do we put it
Skyfall of
above
Batman.
Batman 89?
Yeah, it is. I would recommend it above Batman '89. In probably
And I
in
know we gave it a higher rank rating, but
I'd recommend it. I'd if I had
I
to
would
tell
recommend it. But I don't know if I'd recommend it above Batman 89. That's the only thing.
I would. If I had to tell if my mate had never seen a Batman film before, I would show them Dark Knight Rises before Batman '89.
Yeah, but the problem with Batman: The Dark Knight Rises, sorry, is it has so many plot holes. It's like it's got I know it's got loads of high highs, but it's got lots of low lows as well. You know, so
Well, unless we forget in Batman '89, Alfred shows fucking Vicky Vance the Batcave.
yeah, fuck, that's true. Uh, fuck.
And also, Michael Caine is Alfred in that, so
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fine.
you got
Fuck. Yeah.
phenomenal
All right.
casting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously, you know, you're
Just
not gonna
saying
throw.
Michael Caine just wins me over, man. All right. Fine.
We're only gonna have two films in goated tier.
Well, potentially. We haven't seen The Suicide Squad yet, which I'm going to
Yeah,
add
that's
here, by
true.
the way. Anyway, Batman vs Superman. I think we put that here, right?
Yeah, I think so because I wouldn't put it above Batman Begins.
No, certainly not. Certainly
It's
not.
something that it's a film that you can watch. Like you can watch it at
But
least.
that's a film to me which just epitomizes high highs and low lows.
Yeah,
Just
you
that defines it for me, you know.
yeah. It comes to the point the difference between like I imagine again an imaginary dotted line between Batman Begins and Batman vs Superman. It's not like you
Yeah.
watch it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
You know?
Now Suicide Squad.
This definitely goes in like at the top of the worst tier. I think
Yeah.
unless you're saying it's worse than actually.
Well, no. I think it would. It's either going, it's either going here or it's going here, right? But
Nah,
would you
there's no
recommend it
reason.
to someone? Would you recommend it to someone?
No,
Like, if someone's go, oh
there's
yeah,
no
should I
reason
watch
to
this?
watch it.
I would say if you're a Viola Davis fan, sure. But I think she's just kind of the best of a bad bunch. I don't think, as good as her performance is, it carries this into like a really watchable film. So I think, yeah, it has to go into like a film where I don't recommend it. It's just like I can't put my reputation. I'd just be like, no. I think it does belong here, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll get on to well, obviously we're gonna do Joker next, but
Yep.
we'll get on to the Suicide Squad at one point, which is, you know, hopefully it supplants this in terms of you don't have to watch this for, Amanda.
Hmm.
Instead, you can watch the Suicide Squad. But we'll find that out ourselves, which is supposedly the first time since Catwoman that we neither of us have seen the film that we're going to review.
And we have four more films after this now. So next week we're going to do the Joker. Oh, sorry, just Joker. Then we're going to do the week after that Zack Snyder's Justice League, then the Suicide Squad, and then the Batman. And that will bring us up to late October. So there we have it. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. So there's Suicide Squad. There's a bit of admin as well, etc. So final words from you, Henry.
Don't watch the Suicide. Sorry, don't watch Suicide Squad. Um, you know, sorry, Jared Leto. Rip your Joker tenure.
Jared
Um,
Leto, it's not your fault. We don't blame you here at the
it's
million.
partially his fault, probably. You never know. The
Mm,
amount of people who are uncomfortable with him on set. Yeah, and
Oh, you missed a bit of trivia, by the way. I saw something where it was like,
oh, is it the bit about he sends people condoms and shit in the mail,
no, but there was that as well. I forgot about that one.
which everyone knows. It's like that bit of trivia is like everyone saying Heath Ledger locked himself in the hotel. Man, everyone knows it.
Yeah. No, there was another one. I thought you must have read this, and for some reason we didn't mention it. But you know his
Bonus
laugh,
bit of
right?
trivia.
Did you read about how he chose his laugh?
Yes, you
Yeah,
told me this
I
because
told you.
yeah, you told me. Well, what was it?
No,
He was
I think you must
practicing
have read it
for?
on IMDb because it's one of the top facts there. And it's like he went to New York and was in the street and just tried out different laughs, and whichever one
Yeah,
brought the
unsettle
most.
people the most, make them
Yeah,
most
yeah, that's
uncomfortable.
the one he went with.
Yeah, yeah. He. I don't think that was a good way of choosing it because he ended up choosing the worst laugh possible. Like, why?
But now that I think, when I hear that story, that kind of adds up to me because yeah, if you were in the street and you walked down and you heard like various laughs, it's like a guy laughing there. Obviously, that's pretty you know off-putting anyway. But I think that one in particular, I would be like, what the fuck.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Well,
but I don't think that's the point of a Joker laugh either. So,
yeah, exactly.
but I can see where he's going with it. It's fair enough. And plus, you're probably not going to top Mark Hamill's laugh anyway, or even Jack Nicholson's. So, you know.
Yeah. I mean, speak of Mark Hamill, apparently he said he liked this Joker performance. So
Yeah, I'm in the Mark Hamill camp. I don't hate Jared Leto or his Joker, but I
yeah,
don't. I'm not. I'm not gonna defend him to the hills either. I'm not gonna.
yeah. I wish we saw more of him, but oh well. We
Yeah.
we probably won't now. So
Oh well.
yeah. They didn't cast him for Joker, which we'll find out about.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway,
that's that. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that good shit, and we'll see you next week with Joker. Same bat time, same bat channel.